never die. Video games, movies, sports on the line. Your favorites carved in stone divine. It's all about your top four, nothing more. Rushmore Show, kicking down the door. Ranking the icons, the greats we adore. It's all about your top four, nothing more.
This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Welcome in, everybody. Say hello in the chat. We've got a lot of people joining in. Thanks for still waiting on while we are a little behind. Kevin in the house, my childhood friend. We've got some of our guests in the chat. B2 in the house. I see you, Isaac. Let's go. I know we're a little behind, so we're trying to roll up in here. Mike, welcome to the channel. And yeah, I'll throw you guys all a wrench. Oh, Lil Tim is in the house. Lil Timmy is one of my old students, and he is he's our favorite moderator, as we always say. But I will throw some wrenches around to all of you guys that don't have them. Just give me a second. Andy, let's chat it up and get this thing going. We have a great show tonight. We're into Nostalgia Month. And in Nostalgia, we talk about our childhood. But I got to walk around this week and do a lot of things with our childhood. And I got a lot of big announcements, Andy.
Yes.
A lot of big things that happened since the last show.
Yeah.
So, Andy, first, one of the most fun we've ever had at Louisiana Retrocon right there. Oh, I got my little poster. The Louisiana Retrocon. Let me back it up. There it is. Everybody, if you were at Louisiana Retrocon, post that in the chat. Patrick Johnson, was great seeing you guys. Absolutely. Louisiana Retrocon is one of the biggest retro game conventions in Louisiana, and we were a part of it. And we almost were kind of put on staff this week, Andy. It was pretty cool. Like the MCs, there's Blocky Gamer, been waiting for him. There's the MC. We were the MCs, so we had the microphone the whole show. And so we're calling out guests. We're interviewing all the panels. We were shouting out prizes. But Andy, I have to be honest. I had a blast. What about you?
Yes, absolutely. The fact that Davey handed me a microphone and said, "Hey, will you talk?" Said, Davey, you're going to have no problem with that. So,
no problem
a lot of fun.
Yeah. So a couple things I wanted to chat about, though, Andy. So for the 11 here, and as you guys come in, say hello. I got some news. Last week, finally got connected with Austin Bell, which the guys that are coming on tonight have already been there. But Austin, he runs Siege. And he invited us next year to have a panel, or next year to have a booth or whatever, be a guest. But he also said that he is excited to potentially have us have a Sunday service. Now, if you know anything about us, we're pastors, and that's one of the reasons we go to these conventions is to do Nerd Church. Nerd Church this week also had a breakthrough, Andy. I think there's a lot of really cool things happening. But this week, we had Princess Peach in the audience. Yes, the Princess Peach, the voice of Princess Peach in the video games. Many of the recent games she has done, Princess Peach and Toad. She's a believer, and she does a Christian radio station, and she has invited us to do a big interview for our show, for our Nerd in the Word, and be on the radio station in Tucson and Seattle and a couple other places, which is really cool. Really cool. And last but not least, I mean, definitely not least, but we were able to connect with so many people over the last 2 months that we're almost booked, Andy, into like March or April. It's pretty insane already. So I am excited about that. Dusty Flotilla in the house. Dusty's coming on the show very soon. again. You guys all love him. Blocky Kid Gamer, was great seeing you. And so look here. Blocky was actually in the audience. I love the church service, Kurt. I loved it so much. Yeah, my service was about Mario because it was themed to Mario, and talking about the power up, right? And so that was kind of what that is. But that's not what this show's about. So thank you guys for supporting that. If you want to see that, you can go on our main page and check that out. But let's get to this. We're in nostalgia, Andy, and we are talking about things from our childhood. And you know how we always do it. We throw it out to our guests. And I was very excited when I heard that one of our guests was coming on. And then right after he decided to come on, he then said that maybe his whole podcast can come on. And you guys know one of the guys on the podcast. He's been here before, and I'm so excited to have him back. And then we also get to meet his new friends. And so we're going to do top 4. And I don't know how we're really wording this, but things at Blockbuster, right? So it originally started out, what games would you rent? And now I think it's kind of going into like memories and all kinds of other stuff. So it's going to be an interesting show. You know how the criteria goes. It's our criteria. And we're just going to talk about top 4 things, kind of like what we remember about video games or video stores. What is Blockbuster? So anyways, a lot of video store talk tonight. So let's get into this, Andy. Let's get our guys out here. Let's get this thing moving. We're already a little behind. And let's talk video rental stores. What you think?
Let's get it.
Or video rental stores.
Items at a rental.
Could it be items? Are you stalling so I get this thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Keep stalling, Andy.
I got it right here if you need it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm going to hit it right now.
Oh, go for it.
Hitting it. It's hitting. I'm hitting it.
What's happening?
Are you hitting it too?
I'm not doing
Just
anything.
hit it, Andy.
I'll hit it now. I'm not doing anything. Here we go. For the first time ever, you get 3 intros.
3 of them. 3 of them. Let's go. So, hey, let's welcome our guest in here. I guess I have a little bit of a lag. I might jump out and jump back in while we introduce our guest. But so you know how we do it. We kind of like jump in other people's communities. We try and find cool communities that we are similar to or that we at least can relate to. And I jumped into Russ Lyman's chat, I guess probably like a year ago. And, you know, he's got so many followers over there at the older channel that he probably didn't even know I was there. So we were kind of lurking around and asked him to be on the show. So ended up sending an IG, whatever, about Weekly Warp Pipe, which is their podcast. And then there's been some shakeups. And then they invite our other friend, Retrocart Collector, and another guy, David Apuzzo. They're all on today. So the Weekly Warp Pipe podcast with Russ, David, and Keith. Let's welcome them all to the panel and then let them share all about their creations. So it's going to be awesome. So
there they are. The magic all at once.
We're here. We're here.
What is
We're here.
How's it
So
going?
this is kind of how we do it, guys. There's a couple opportunities for you to chat with our audience. We've got 18 people in the chat. Thank you. If any of you came from Russ's side, if you're here from us, tell Warp Pipe hello. And obviously, you know, like what we do, go and like, follow, subscribe, do all those things while they start to chat up what they're doing. So again, I met these guys. We met Retrocart, obviously. I was super excited when I saw when the shakeup was happening with Warp Pipe that he was joining on. And, man, I just love the content that they put out. Russ, since you're kind of the de facto leader of this ragtag bunch of people, why don't you shout out kind of your channels?
Okay. Yeah.
All 50 of them, but you can shout out whatever you want. I know you just started a new channel that you've been going live on, almost 500, I think, over there.
Yeah.
Quite a few decimal points behind to the other one, but I'm sure it will surpass. And just share about what you guys do, why video games, why video rentals, and then we'll pass it on. We'll pass it on down to the other fellas to share some of their stuff too.
Excellent. Yeah. So I basically been on YouTube for, I think about like 16 years now, and I've just been going strong. So when I first made my channel, it was just my name, Russ Lyman, and I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of posting videos and doing a lot of DIY stuff because I loved working with my hands. So it would be video game almost related DIY. I like making custom consoles. And then eventually I took that and made a custom Mario Kart car that I drive. It's a Scion XA, and we painted it red, white, and blue with yellow rims. So it mimics Mario's car. And so I drive that out to conventions. I do car shows with it, obviously, as well. But it's a fun little car to bring around to shows and make some videos on. And with my channel with Russ Lyman, I was kind of all over the place doing vlogs, DIY stuff, and my love for video games on there. And I felt after a while, YouTube kind of didn't know what I was. So I ended up creating this new channel. It's Russ Lee, kind of a play on my name, Russ Lyman, Russ Lee. So that's my new retro gaming channel. It's only 2 months old. We're almost at 500 subscribers. I probably got about 30 videos on there, and I live stream multiple times a week. So it's going strong. I just did a 24-hour straight live stream nonstop. It was wild. We had a bunch of people over the house, kind of break into my new game room because I just moved into a house in January. So we're making the new game room. And yeah, it's going great. I have a bunch of other channels too. We have Snacky Snack Time, where I start trying snacks with my daughter. She's 2.5. So we've been eating a bunch of snacks on there. And I started the podcast probably, I think almost 3 years ago or so with my buddy Jay, NES Addict. It had came from an offshoot of me doing a podcast with Riff from Pixel Game Squad, and it was called Riff and Russ. And we maybe did 6 episodes or so, but we couldn't keep it up. So we had stopped, and Jay reached out to me and was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And I was like, dope. Yeah, let's put it together. And we went strong for probably 2 years or so. And Jay just wasn't able to keep up with it as much as he wanted to. So I started looking for new co-host or co-host, kind of upper level. And I reached out to my buddy Keith, the Retrocart Collector, and longtime friend David Apuzzo, who was just kind of getting into the YouTube scene. And it's been ever since. We've been going strong.
That's awesome. I love that. Love all of the channels there. That is fantastic. I love what I can see of the game room too. So
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Good
So
stuff.
Andy, your girl dad channel is very similar to Snacky Snack Time. So
yeah, so we started one. I've got 3 daughters, and started it when I had 2 daughters, and it was just going to be girl dad like doing life together, and it wound up just being food related. That's just all.
Okay.
They do. So I never intentionally that way, but
Right.
to be, hey, let's try these snacks. Let's try this food. Let's do that. Yeah. So it's a ton of fun. I get it.
So, man, I love the channels. You were rocking Hudson last night and kind of doing some of that while I jumped in. And I know how you guys are as YouTubers go. You know, you try and kind of support your friends and whatever. But a lot of times I'll put it on and I'll do my homework. And I'm so glad it's over. But so I'll do a lot of lurking. So I see a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing, or I'll put it while I'm driving and just kind of listen to it sometimes. But I kind of jumped in and out of that 24-hour stream a little bit. And it was pretty fun. So seeing somebody go 24 hours was pretty awesome. We ran into each other at Siege.
Yes.
Someone else I also ran into was Keith, and Keith's been on the show twice now. This is your 3rd time, I believe. So
Yeah, sure is.
Retrocart Collector is his channel. And Keith, I believe when you came on the first time, you were a little shallow of 500, maybe like 350 range.
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
And then before your next show, you had already passed us up. That you had come on. So his show's growing tremendously. He's in all of the right places for a channel like his. Keith, share some stuff about Retrocart, what you got coming up with the 15s of us, and then I'll shoot it over to David, and we'll get this thing rolling.
All right. Well, yeah, Retrocart Collector on YouTube, Retrocart Collector on Instagram. Going for the full set, the North American release of the NES games. I have like 88 left, I think. Videos coming from Siege right away. I do these video game treasure boxes, unboxing of those sometimes. So I've got one of those coming here for this very box right here soon. I talk about the games in my collection. I'm kind of similar to Russ, where like Russ plays a lot of the games. I want to play a lot of the games too. So I talk about 10 games in my collection through these videos. Talk about me going and hunting for the games, finding these games, and we're starting to get down there on how many games I have left on that NES collection. So we're gonna start cracking into some of the heavies. Haven't told anyone this yet, but I have a friend that is buying a full collection for his store. So I'm going to tag along with him when that event kind of happens. And I might add one of the really big ones to my collection at that time from that collection while he's buying it for his store. So excited for that to happen and excited to get there. But other than that, I just like collecting video games and hanging out with awesome folks like you guys. That's why I ended up with Russ and David, is because it's like, obviously I'm going to come hang out with people that I love hanging out with. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and then I saw you over hanging out in California on a cool podcast over there. And I'm like, look at this dude. Just a few weeks back, and he has now made a name for himself. And you have, man, because you got a great channel.
Well, the whole community is awesome, right? Like everybody in the community is great.
Around on the internet. Yeah, they really are. I love the conventions. I love being a part of them. I love kind of just walking around and meeting new people. And Andy and I say this is a kind of like our nostalgia therapy. This is kind of our weekly, like take a deep breath, and I don't have to think about much for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, David, sure. You are David? You're kind of the newer person to our ring of circle people, but right. No less talented. Manny in the house. Manny's Arcade's going to be back on in the beginning of the year. Great channel if you haven't followed him. Another Cali guy. Manny, I can't wait to have you on again. But David, share all about your stuff. We were joking. Well, not really joking, but I always try and throw out the post at lunch, and I'm a teacher, guys. So school has started, and we have new lunch and whatever. So I'm like, hurry up and trying to do this. And a lot of times I just take like screenshots of everybody's channels and I throw them in AI, and I'm saying, okay, here's what I'm already doing. I need it in this format, shoot it back, and I didn't edit it. And David's was all a mess. He was a designer that worked.
He tagged Dave Batista. It was weird.
Yeah.
No.
Well, maybe he did a shout out for us.
Yeah, that would be awesome if that was the case. But
I mean, you've never seen us both in the same place at the same time.
There's
never seen it happen.
We haven't. No, we haven't. So tell us all about your channel, your creation, why Warp Pipe, and let's get this thing started.
So it's funny because the internet doesn't know, what to do with me either, because it has me going in all different directions. I've been a full-time photographer for over 20 years, and I've known Russ for probably 20 or so years as well. And we reconnected when he was a manager at Retro Games Plus, which is owned by Chris, who is now running SoCal and Retro World Expo in Connecticut, which is happening in like less than a month. And I always make the joke about how like, I'm just the tag along in Russ's videos. Like people know me on YouTube just through Russ's videos. We go game hunting together and everything like that. And some stuff happened last year. I was kind of down a little bit. I won't get into it too much, but Russ asked me to be a part of the podcast, and it really saved me in a way. So I am so excited to be part of the Weekly Warp Pipe. it's brought me here to you guys. And, not knowing Keith beforehand either, it's funny because I was on this podcast with these two YouTubers and I'm like, well, I guess if you guys are doing YouTube, I guess maybe I should start getting back into YouTube and see what I could do. I was very much into retro gaming. You could see kind of like in the background here, there's a lot of video game stuff. But recently, within the past couple years, I've been more towards toys. So I do a lot of toy hunting. So that's where my channel came from. Is I did a lot of photography, behind the scenes stuff on my YouTube channel, sporadically here and there. And now I'm kind of doing a lot of toy hunting and toy content. And I'm also doing videos with my daughter as well, trying to keep it like a time capsule of watching her grow up. We do a lot of unboxing. She helps me in the game room or the toy room, however you want to call it. I'm just finishing up my entire series of going out to the Chicago Toy Show, which is a span of 7 or 8 videos. We traveled to different toy stores. Then we did the actual toy show out there in Chicago, and now we're on our way back. So finishing that up this week on the channel, and I've been doing it for maybe just under 4 months now, and I think we just hit like 800 subs. So
yeah, I saw. Speaking of that, I think 853 is what I saw. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think I'm that high yet. But
I was going to shout that out today and be like, guys, let's try and get him to the top.
If you want to get me to 850, I'd love it. I'd love it, guys. It'd be awesome. Currently, what I'm doing right now is 3 of my good friends, including Russ, have done game room tours of my room. And I'm actually running through those. We're reposting those on my channel with permission of those guys. And it's going to lead all the way up. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers.
This will be, I think this is about to be fun.
What am I at? 920.
920.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, 920.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There you
So
go.
okay, well, we're 80 away from 1,000. So once we hit 1,000, I'm thinking about doing an updated like toy room tour. So
hey, so real quick, not to stop. I know some guys that are popping in the chat and they're gonna head out. One is Papa Bear and Baby Bear, great channel of a father and son. David, you mentioned Chicago. They're in the Chicago area.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, but great. They do like card ripping and stuff like that, pack ripping.
Wow.
Zach Sports Cards, he's in my area. I live in the Atlanta area. He does pack ripping, and he has another channel that is Zach, the Frugal Gardener. He lives out in the country out here in Georgia, and just 2 amazing channels. Please go back both of those guys up and support them by all costs. And then Mike, you're still hanging around, and I my fault because we're just kind of late. This is for you and the guys on the channel and anybody else that's new here. Welcome to the Summit Squad. This is for you.
Hey, real quick, I want to say this. You say you're toy hunting Chicago. Now, this guy's currently in Angel, but we got a giveaway in this box. And quick, I was looking through this. I was like, oh, do I want to keep this? But it's from a vendor, so we'll give it away at one of these things. But check out. You want Moncada? I don't know how. I mean, it's Chicago White Sox. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yon
So
Makata.
that came in a box of stuff that they said, give this all away. Give this all away. And I was like, cool.
This stuff finally. And there's some odds and ends. That's for sure.
Hey, guys, if y'all don't know Dusty has like 10 videos and he just broke 10K. Like this, it's insane.
Tell me
It's
your
insane.
secret.
He started with like Pokemon and now he's doing kind of video games and stuff. He's buds with Riggs and that crew. But Dusty Flotilla, go follow him. 33-ish. I'm sorry. The 10 was being sarcastic. But he just broke 10K. That's insane.
Wow. Crazy.
Insane. But anyways, let's get this show going. We'll be here all night. So did we pick an order, Andy, while I was coming in? Huh?
I'm last. I know that much.
I know you're last. I'm first. Russ, do you guys have an order on your show?
No, not really. It changes every week.
All right, so Dave, you were here first, so you're going to go first.
Oh
Keith,
man.
you're second, and
Very
Russ,
good.
you were late to the party, so you're going to go third. So, Dave, that's just how it's going to be. This is the Rushmore Show, a podcast, brother. Well, this is a couple really awesome podcasts, and yeah, I appreciate that. So, Keith, this is what sorry, I'm going to do that plenty of times. David, this is kind of what we do. So, number 4 is Roosevelt, and he made the mountain, but we think he's kind of low on the totem pole, if you will. He's number 4. Before you tell us him, just kind of tell us, when you were building this, what were you thinking over the last few days when you were working on your list? Why did you pick these? And then you can start out giving us number 4, and we'll get this thing on the road. PNX,
Sure.
way to go. PNX is about to hit 1,000 too if they haven't done it already. They're getting close.
PNX is awesome. Yeah, I love PNX's.
Great channel. It is a crime that they're not higher. They are such a cool channel. So you're up, Dave. What were you thinking? And then we'll start with Rosie, number 4.
So when putting together my list, going to Blockbuster or any other video rental store, I try to think of it from a different perspective, and so I put a little bit more nostalgia twist on it.
Yeah, I love it.
My picks are more of like things that I experienced with Blockbuster and other various video stores. So I am going to start off with a number 4 as being a rental because it's a movie that not a lot of people know about, but it is a movie that I probably rented the most out of every time going to the store. It was a cult classic, and it was usually in stock. Not a lot of people are renting this. They had one copy, and I rented it over and over again. And I actually have a rental copy here with me, and that is Cool as Ice.
No way. That's so good.
So it has the new release sticker on there, the action sticker on there, and it's even got on the side here, it's got the King Supers. I guess that's a rental place.
Yeah.
So it's the whole right here. It's got the please rewind sticker on it too.
Wow.
So I had to get a rental copy of this, and I would rent this far too many times. And it's funny because Retro Rick did a game room tour here, and I have you can't see it, but there's a poster. Actually, you can see it right here, right behind my NBA Jam.
Yeah.
I do have the movie poster, and Rick saw it, and he was like, "What is that?" He's never heard of this movie before. So if you guys haven't seen this, it's wild, and it's and there is a Nintendo reference because the younger boy that's in the movie, he's the love interest of Vanilla Ice's little brother. There is a scene where he is actually playing Nintendo while they're in the living room. So there is some video game relation to this movie as well.
100% remember that scene because I watched this also a ton. I was a MC Hammer Vanilla Ice guy for sure. And I will just say this, and just to kind of throw this out there, my very first concert I ever went to, we actually done Rushmore of concerts, Andy, right? And this was on my list because it was the very first one I ever went to was In Vogue opened for Vanilla Ice and MC in 1989. 1989. Yeah. So
what month of 89? Because I may have not been alive yet.
Great nostalgia.
What month of 89? Because I may have not been alive.
Wait, are you sure? Are you sure Vanilla Ice? You said In Vogue opened?
Yeah, In Vogue opened. 100% In Vogue opened.
His album didn't come out until 91.
Oh, well, 89 was Prince. So yeah, I think it was probably 92. When was Rocky
I know my Vanilla Ice guys.
There you go. Don't question
when was
this
Rocky 5? Rocky 5. That was why MC Hammer was on tour because he did the video for that.
1990.
1990. So it was 1990. That's when it was.
Okay, so that's
So I
fair.
thought it was 89 because it was probably going in. And I was thinking I was in 8th grade. So 8th grade would have been 90. Yep, 90. So that's probably right about that time. 90, 91-ish. So anyways,
Yeah.
very cool poll. I love that you have it in hand. Russ, do you love Vanilla Ice as much
Oh, yeah.
as to the
That-
extreme?
I do have a cassette tape of Vanilla Ice album when it came out, so
Did
I definitely
you-
enjoyed me it.
Was the hair similar at the time?
Oh no, I went a different direction.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
There it goes. There
There's
it
the
is.
cassette soundtrack, and the
Rushmore of white rappers.
there you go. Oh,
Does he make it?
He probably squeaks on that list.
I
yes.
mean, what do you have? M&M's.
You remember when he went like in
Third base?
when he went to like kind of do like music like Corn, like kind
Yeah.
of yeah. That was fun. There was a song Prozac. Yeah.
He played my my senior spring fling when I graduated college. So the last weekend I was in college, I actually have, you know what? If you go on YouTube, if you go on my YouTube channel, I have a video from that concert of him on our green at college. It's wild.
Dude, that is awesome. Now, was Vanilla Ice huge in Canada, Keith?
Oh yeah, he was huge. I never listened to him, but he was huge.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he was
wasn't-
huge.
There's no Garth
Huge.
Brooks.
Didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't listen
come
to
on
him.
now, right?
Yeah.
Didn't the girls were listening to him? I was listening to him.
Just side note, I know we're gonna go long here. Sorry. I put out a short a while back about my favorite Canadian artists. That's like what Americans think of Canadian. Is there like an artist in Canada that would be like they're the GOAT? I know that put me on the spot.
Rita McNeil. I don't know.
Oh, okay. See, I wouldn't have that.
Sure.
Didn't even register.
Rita McNeil.
Bare naked ladies.
There you go. I
There it
is.
missed out on that.
There it is.
Right.
There it is.
Simple Plan.
Yeah. Simple
Some
plan.
41. Some 41.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna be here all night. I love it.
I love it.
Keith,
All right.
Keith, you're gonna go next. What were you
I'm going
thinking,
next.
and what was your number 4?
All right. So what I was thinking was, I don't know if you see the tag on my name down. It's over here.
Never been to Blockbuster.
Wow.
Never. We didn't have a Blockbuster in my town. There was Blockbusters in the city, but I never went to a Blockbuster. We had video updates. We had those mom and pop stores. So I just kind of went with similar to David, memories of and the items that were really cool in those video rental stores, those video updates, those video views, movie gallery, stuff like that, like we were talking about earlier. So I picked stuff that reminded me of what an awesome time it was to be alive, that we got to experience that. Because when you really think about it, movie stores came and went kind of in our lifetimes, which is crazy and made such an impact on a lot of us. So my number 4 item thing memory about going to a Blockbuster or a video game or a movie store would have been the clamshells that they had. This would be for Time of War. The clamshells, renting these, taking them up to the front, them scanning them, you taking them home, you know, cracking that open, taking that game out. Some of them had those stick-on instructions. Some of them they put the instructions inside and they'd glue them when they were video games, stuff like that. The movies, just those clamshells that we used to have that we got to rent those movies or games in. I think that would be an item, a memory, or something from a video store that really hits home with me. And I love when I find something like this. I think it's really cool. So that's going to be my number 4.
I love that because there's you know, we talk about it. This is an experience my kids won't have. A lot of the media now is not physical media, so you're not going to need these cases that are holding these things. You know, you look behind you guys right now, and I see the actual physical copies of games with the I mean, Kirk, you have the emulator, but you still collect the boxes to get the game in. You know what I mean? There's something about that tangible nature of it that's super awesome. I do love that. I like where you went with that pick though, because that's not what I was thinking, but that is fantastic.
That's a really cool pick. The clamshells are cool. I was actually, because I always pull out my collection isn't nearly as big as yours, guys. But I always pull off of it whenever I need it. It's just this like one little shelf here, but it's stuff from my childhood, and not all of them, but about half of my Nintendo games are actually in those old school clamshells because I bought those when I was like 8. I was like, or my parents did or whatever. And I'm like, man, I want to put the rest of these in clamshells just because so they match, right? And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. It's kind of cool having some and not because it's kind of like my collection. But yeah, it's awesome, man. That's a really cool pick. I wouldn't have thought that, but yeah,
I'm gonna give this shout out real quick. Mr. Dave is in the house. What's up, Mr. Louisiana Retrocon? How you doing, Mr. Dave?
There it is. Look, there it is. He is. Dave Lusko is dad of the group. So he's one of the con dads over there. So awesome. All right, Russ. You think about clamshells? What do you think about those? You got a lot of those in that collection?
I have a few, kicking around here. I definitely love the cool colors that they come in. It's really unique for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since we're on you, why don't you jump in? What were you thinking when you were kind of putting this list together and just jump? Tell us what you got.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of visualizing walking into the Blockbuster and looking around at the shelves and everything and kind of picking memories from that and a few personal stories. But coming in at number 4, just in general, I would always gravitate towards, I went with action/ninja movies. I always like checking out the boxes on the shelves with the cool pictures of the ninjas doing stuff. I think American Ninja is one of the ones that my dad would rent a lot.
Michael Dudikoff.
So definitely want to pick me up some of those for my collection. I haven't seen them in years, but that definitely stood out. And then, of course, I mean, you got like Surf Ninjas, Three Ninjas, Kick Back, like all those 90s ninja movies, Ninja Turtles, and definitely renting those for the weekend is a great time. And, being out in the yard doing your ninja moves and practicing.
Yeah. You bring up
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
We didn't mention Beverly Hills.
That's
Ninja.
true. Yeah, Chris Farley.
Movie of all time.
You bring up a great point, Russ. When I was a kid, I thought there were a lot more ninjas out there in the world to be worried about.
Right? Even just grappling hooks. Like I thought I was going to need a grappling hook in life because of ninja movies.
Yeah, so that's a cool pick because really the 80s, 90s, they really popularized a lot of ninjas. Well, like making a ninja like thing out of a t-shirt.
Yeah. I totally do that. And then I don't know whether it was a Nintendo Power or in the game Ninja Gaiden, but I remember on the back of a poster, it had like the ninja weapons and it showed like shurikens and like the climbing things that go on your hands and all that. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, I'd be awesome to get these.
Yeah. Hey, mark that down, Kurt. Rushmore of ninja movies. That's one for the future.
Dude, well, so movies and TV, shameless plug, is, let's see, March, April, May, and June. And we have to have the top 4 ninja movies of all time. I already got, dude, done. My list's already done. I just like ran through them right there in my head. There's so many.
I did want to showcase this. I had gotten this off.
Oh, yeah.
So Retro Maniacs in the house. Great friend, Jeff. Been here.
Full light up sign that's 3D printed that I got.
Yeah, nice. That is.
You can hang it on the wall.
So
Blockbuster.
I love that. So Retro Maniac, that's Jeff Huffstetler. He was on last for Batman movies, if you like Batman. He also is a wrestling aficionado as far as local wrestling in the Louisiana area. And he buys and sells a lot of collections like you guys do. So really cool channel. Go follow Retro Maniac. Hey, so I love this pick, but I'll jump in, kind of catch up on some time. My list, this was a kind of a hard one because you're trying to figure out, see, you guys have already become regulars at the Rushmore Show. Like when we first started we were doing things that were really easy. Like what's your, and not that they were easy, but like what's your top 4 favorite ice cream? And there's just so much to pick from, and you just like vanilla, blah, blah, blah. And then we realized no matter how easy the show is or how hard the topic, they're all hard, because when you start to kind of take some personal credit towards these things or nostalgia, it starts to feel like almost I can't eliminate that. That's some of my childhood. And this episode, I was really thinking about it, is like this whole thing is just like you said, Russ, kind of walking into Blockbuster or Hollywood Video Joe, all the different places that were in our hometown, just the video store in general. And then Keith, you mentioned it. We began kind of the craze. It was a part of our childhood, and it ended before we ended. That's kind of a wild thing. And I'll just share this. I worked at Blockbuster, but not as a Blockbuster employee. At the end of Blockbuster's life, I worked for Dish Network, and Dish Network bought Blockbuster out. And I had I was a door-to-door manager. I managed a whole bunch of teams that would go door-to-door and sell cable back then. And it was one of my first ministries, to be honest. And I got to be inside the Blockbuster all day and hang out with those guys. And it was one of the best memories ever. So there's a lot of things that I was thinking about when I was curating what happened in that store particularly. So with that being said, Kirk was the cable guy. Yes, I was. And that's the most money I ever made in my life, by the way, Andy. Cable guy. Yeah, that was fun. Anyways, my number 4, just coming right off, it's so simple, but it's not. I can remember as a kid riding my bike up to the video store as you know, a young boy, whatever, and bringing mom's Blockbuster card, right? And you carry that thing. And I remember the day that I got my own membership. And like that Blockbuster card is going to be my number 4. That thing to me was like getting my driver's license at 10, or 12. I remember I had that card. It was adjacent to my parents, and they got me a copy, and I kept it in my wallet. And I used to ride my bike up, and I would rent, I'd bring up a couple dollars and rent my own movies or my own games. And some of those I'm going to mention today, some of those ones that I did as a young kid, but it was kind of one of the first things that I was a member of. And I felt like so cool. Look, I've got my own Blockbuster card. It's just one of those memories that, my kid won't ever have. He won't have his own Blockbuster card or any video store. So my number 4 is just going to be really basic and simple. The idea of just like it's your hometown feel. It's like walking in and the guy at the counter knows you. Oh, you're back again. Here, this is what we got in new. Just that whole feeling of like, this is mine, and this is kind of like my store to visit. And when my family comes over, it's like, oh, I know where that's at. I was here. And so anyways, kind of the just being a member and having my own card. That's going to be my number 4.
I love that. And Dave, I was gonna say you showed one off a little minute ago. Let's throw that up there.
There it is. Yep.
That's actually his membership card, right?
This is my OG membership card.
And before I said that, while Russ was talking, I was thinking, I bet I can run into my closet really quickly and find where it's at. And then I was like, then it's going to be my turn. They're going to be like, where's he at? So I think I still have it kind of in that area. Hey, Genesis. Genesis is one of my students. Yeah, still have my card. I do have my card. It's not that same card for sure, but I do have a card somewhere in the house.
What's really funny about this card is it has the card issue date on here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just letting you guys know, I became a member on 4/20.
Oh.
Just letting you know.
I think they printed that on every card.
You were in the area that day. You're like,
the guy that was working behind the counter was like,
yeah.
So I don't know if it was a renewal for the card because it's from the year 2000. So I would have been 19 years old when this card was issued, going on 20.
Nice.
So, yeah, the card membership, man. I mean, you guys feel anything about that? Like having your own, just being like the own, even though it was Blockbuster and it was like the big chain, it still felt kind of local because you knew the people. Like it's like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? What's up, Billy? How you doing? What's the new movie? That whole thing, man. It's just really cool.
Yeah. I think it's great. I mean, like the closest thing we have now is what, like a library card? I mean, that's not cool. Nobody really celebrates that kind of stuff. So
True.
I
do
don't
see
want to know what
people
happens if I get a new library card. They'll tell me, oh, we've been waiting for you to bring that book back from 1982. Pay for the library.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So I get more kind of physical, not necessarily media, but just physical artifacts, I guess, of a time long gone. So that's good. That's good stuff. I'm going to move to mine. So my criteria for me was what brings the nostalgia feels to me. I mean, I'm not really doing anything too crazy. Yeah. Yo. We got Razor Ramon in here. That's cool. Hey, yo. Yeah, it's really just what brings the nostalgia feels to me. Now, I'm born in '89, so I don't think I ever had my own membership card. It was always I went, with my parents, right? So that was kind of that deal. But for me, there were certain things that, as I'm thinking about this, like legit, like just specific core memories of what I would get. And my Rosie, I'm coming out hot, right? And you didn't get this thing until it was time to get the other things you were going there for. And what I mean is when you got up to that counter and you saw that bright yellow bag of Butterfinger BBs, that is my Rosie, the discontinued snack that we all want back. Now, here's the funny thing about Butterfinger BBs to me. I don't like Butterfinger. I don't like a normal Butterfinger. But when they were the bite-size Butterfinger BBs,
good pull.
Fantastic, right? You couple that with the fact that Bart Simpson was the spokesperson for Butterfinger, and I was just in. But it was those things where it was like, it didn't matter what I was going to Blockbuster to rent, to do, to whatever. I was leaving with Butterfinger BBs, right? If it was a movie, if it was a video game, if whatever, I had to get that. It was that impulse buy section right up there at the counter. I loved Butterfinger BBs. So sad. I know we mentioned it probably when we talked about discontinued snacks. And it's one of those snacks. Bring it back. I mean, we know what the people want. We don't want Butterfinger minis. It's like, I get so mad about it. Like McDonald's does this stuff where it's like, we bring the snack wraps back, but it's not the snack wraps that we want. Just bring that back, right? Butterfinger BBs is one of those things to me. So bring back the BBs. Let's do it.
Just a quick small comment. I always kind of jump in Google, Chat GPT, and these other things to see what they say, just to see, kind of curate the list. And I said, what are the best snacks from Blockbuster? And Butterfinger BBs was number 2 on that list. Behind popcorn.
Behind popcorn. Okay, there you go.
Makes sense.
So, any Butterfinger BBs fans in here? Anybody?
I enjoyed Butterfinger BB. Do they still make them?
No, 2006 or 7 they were discontinued.
Interesting.
You probably can
I
pick
just
them
saw
up
them
every once in a while, like when they bring them back for a second, but they're pretty much gone.
I'll go on eBay and get
that drummer in the house. Thanks for coming back on over. Good to see you, bud.
Yeah.
Bring back the BBs.
We need to
bring back the BBs.
Russ, you've got 6 YouTube channels. Add a 7th one that is just about bringing back BBs. Can we do that?
Well,
BBs
is over on the Snacky Snack Time.
Yeah, you can collab with your own YouTube channel about.
Hey, I'm bringing on Snacky Snack Time today, and just run on over to another screen. All right, so David, what's your number? You don't have to give criteria now. We already kind of know where you're at.
Sure.
So number 3 on the list is.
So now, do I mention that do I mention that I'm new here, guys? I mentioned that you picked mine, one of
Oh,
mine.
Nope. You don't mention that until it
I don't
gets to
mention
you.
that.
Unless
See, I
this is
blew
the
it. I
one-
already blew it.
No,
Nobody.
This is you.
That's okay.
It's your turn.
This time, is it
Unless
this
it's
time?
your pick right now.
If you're doing it this time, then yes. If you haven't, then wait.
No,
Wait.
it would have been my number 3.
So it'll be right now. So
then you
it would
can
be right
still
now.
share. They
perfect.
can match.
Perfect.
You can
Yeah.
match right now.
So this is what you do. We call it a Crushmore. Hold on. I'm not even ready. David's going with a Crushmore. We don't know with who. Let's hit it.
All right. What's your pick?
Now I repeat.
What's your pick?
Yeah, you can share it now. You can match right now. That's totally.
I'll pay him.
My match is with Kirk with getting
Oh,
the
yeah.
Blockbuster card. I mean,
Yeah.
how could it not be on the Mount Rushmore
Let's do it.
of rental stores? I mean, you have to have this to rent a movie, rent a game for
Yeah.
the weekend. So that's my pick. I mean, what
Yeah.
else is there to say? I think Kirk kind of covered it all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that is what makes
This is independence right here.
it's the I remember as a kid just feeling so strong with that thing.
Yeah.
Of course, it's strong with this one. I've got a
All right.
Blockbuster card. I love when I watch things
Or
like
any other
Stranger
video
Things
rental
and
place that we
stuff
have.
that comes back from the 80s and 90s, and you like see Blockbuster or whatever, and you're like, I did that. That was me. That's why it's so cool. Like Goonies and like, yeah, that's one of those things. But yeah, absolutely.
Would it be one of the nostalgic gauntlet stones as a membership card to Blockbuster? Like,
Oh,
what are the 5 things that you have to complete to have all the nostalgia? That's a cool thing. That's a cool
that'd be fun. That'd be fun to chat about.
Right there on the. Anyway, yeah.
So we've already kind of chatted on this one, and
Right.
yeah, So in the chat, anybody out there, I saw a couple people. They said they had their card. Let us know if you have your card. Tell us when your issue date is.
I want to see who else went on 420.
Yeah.
I need to see. I need to test
Everybody in the
this.
chat.
Is it everybody's? Was everybody's just? Was that the stamp that they did?
Yes.
Blockbuster, we rewind. Blue, what we did. Bring back the BB. Yep. So Isaac, we appreciate you being here, man. So 16 of you in the chat. Make sure you hit the like if you haven't already. Keith, you're up. What is your TJ Jazzy Jeff? Our fun name for calling Thomas Jefferson.
My number 3 would be the employee rental section where they give you those employee recommendations.
Oh, okay.
The people
Okay.
that work there, they could rent the movies for free. They could take them home early. And they were like, this is the movie that I think you should watch. You know, this is Zach's pick for the week. And it was the very first Congo, right? And you're like, oh, maybe I'll watch that. Oh, we have similar interests. So
I always
think
love
that would
Zach's pick. Let's see what Zach's picking today.
right, exactly. They had people that worked there that knew what they were talking about, that were movie buffs,
True.
and would pick movies that would be something that you might be interested in because, you know,
This was that's
something
good
good.
because that was like Netflix recommendations before Netflix was recommending
Right.
anything. This was like this crawled so that Netflix could watch, which I think Blockbuster did anyway. But
absolutely, yeah.
So here, fun story about that, Netflix and all that. When I was there for Blockbuster was dying. Netflix was rising. If you remember, Netflix had just started, not just started, like they started as a mail order video type thing. And so that's kind of how it all began. And Netflix wasn't doing tremendous in the beginning. They were trying to figure out the world before they did the streaming service. And they pitched to Dish Network when they bought Blockbuster, hey, we would like to sell you Netflix. And they were like, nah, we bought Blockbuster. We're good. And shortly after, both Dish and Blockbuster's reeling, right? And I was working for them then. But yeah, they started Netflix was doing the whole thing, and then they went to completely streaming. But like Blockbuster, it might not be Netflix right now. You know, it might be actually Blockbuster doing that. That would be kind of a blast from the past. But I love this pick. The employee section. One of my favorite things to do when I got to work, you know, because I wasn't a Blockbuster guy. I did get some of the perks, but was to come in and be like, all right, guys, what's in new today and what have you watched? Perfect. So I can put my little thing on the side. Yeah, and because those guys, is there a movie about that? You know, like a Clerks of Blockbuster type
There's
thing?
Blockbuster, yeah, with the guy who Jim Halpert, Asian Jim Halpert. Hold on.
Yeah, so like
I was looking at all the stuff today. You know who I'm talking about, Asian.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
did, there's a series, right? On
It's a series.
Netflix.
Yeah, right. It's on.
Probably.
Yeah.
I bet that's pretty funny. Anyways,
I'm off tomorrow. I guess I'm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a sit.
Russ, what's your number 3?
So it'd be a match.
Oh,
there we go. Rushmore, hold on. Did I hit it?
Yep, it went through.
There we go.
Going while checking out, looking at the candy. What candy am I bringing home
Okay.
for whatever I'm renting and this and that? It wasn't Butterfinger BBs though. I don't know why those weren't, I guess, on my radar. I was big Simpsons fan. Maybe I just enjoyed the bars instead. But I did love me some Twizzlers.
Okay.
Ooh, my wife is a Twizzlers fan.
Yeah, and my dad would always get the black licorice ones, and I'd get the red ones.
Oh,
And I always thought the black tasted terrible, but so happy to get some candy to bring home. You know, eat that while either playing a game or watching a movie.
Yeah. I love Twizzlers. The running joke is that it's like chewing on cherry flavored HDMI cables, but it is.
Okay.
I still love it. And I don't care. But I will say this: can we be honest? Can everyone be honest with you? No one likes black licorice. You don't have to say you like it. We don't think you're cool for it. We don't think that you have sophisticated palate.
Before I got sober, I used to drink a lot of Red Bull and Jaeger.
Yeah, well, yes.
And Jaeger is basically absinthe,
to be
which
honest
is
with you,
basically black licorice.
Even when I was doing that, I didn't.
It's got to be
enjoy
freezing. It has to be so cold. It has to be extremely cold.
I never enjoyed that.
The licorice, though, is not tasty at all.
I did switch over to this brand, Wiley
Wiley
Wallaby.
Wallaby is the goat of licorice. That strawberry licorice is crazy.
Oh, I love the green apple. That's my go-to right now. But I found these for summer where they're lemonade flavored.
The problem
so
with
really
those is they're little bites, and you eat a whole bag of them. And you're
I fire these up when we're streaming. And, they're just a little guy right there. So you just throw them back.
This just in.
Hey, black liquid.
I think that was like that must be like an older thing. You said your dad, Russ. My dad liked black licorice too. He also liked orange slices and the candy that came out of grandma's pocket with lint, and he liked all of that. But man, I don't know. I do love Twizzlers though. My wife, it's one of my wife's probably Rushmore of snacks.
Look at Barry. I mentioned this on our podcast the other day, David. I think you might remember this, where I said, "Guys, it's okay to be wrong. Black licorice is awesome."
I think they just taste better in Canada.
Yeah,
probably.
Wait, there's Miss Louisiana Retrocon, Rhonda. I love the black. See, Miss Rhonda, you are so beautiful and young looking. I'm not going to name it, but it's one of those things that I think, I don't know. It's old.
Miss Rhonda, you make me have to like black licorice now. But I just don't help you, Rhonda.
Help you, Rhonda. Help you, Rhonda.
That's nice. Good one.
Well, he did. I called it out, Barry. Good job. Hey, so, man, the snack aisle. That is definitely there, and if we're doing individual foods, then I guess I'm crushing, right? Andy, hit the crush. We're doing snacky snack time.
Here we go. You're muted. You're muted.
But my snack is different. My snacks of choice, and I'm going to save one of them for later. But my favorite snack at Blockbuster was the Popcornopolis Zebra flavored. It was like white and milk chocolate covered popcorn.
Oh,
They
okay,
had
okay.
this, like, setup thing where they came in like cones and they put it in the like circle. And every time I went to Blockbuster to work, I would immediately go grab one of those, a drink, and I'd bring it over to my little kiosk for later and just munch on it all day long. It is, I'm not a huge fan of popcorn. It is definitely my favorite popcorn of all time. It's called zebra flavored, but it's Popcornopolis, like Metropolis, zebra. So it's like white chocolate, milk chocolate, drizzled all over. It's fantastic.
That sounds delicious. And we actually used to have a popcorn place over here in Covington that was like all these crazy flavors of popcorn.
Right. I remember that place. And it was like popcorn all over the walls.
Yeah, all the way up to the ceiling or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And like hamburger flavored popcorn, but they would have these like the chocolate popcorn, and it's fantastic. I never liked, like, I don't want buffalo popcorn. I don't know, like that. I just is not what I want. It's not like something to keep snacking.
Well,
on.
you would go into that particular place and they had like all the spices and sugars, and you'd go, I want that kind of mixed with that, and they would make it right in front of you.
Yeah, you can mix and match things, but all the chocolate drizzle popcorn.
It was really cool.
Sign me up. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Flattery will get me everywhere. Well, you've already done all you can for us, Miss Rhonda, over at Louisiana Retrocon. We love you guys so much. But Dusty says mine is the store had fresh popcorn. I am not a popcorn guy. I am not a popcorn guy. My mom, my wife, I almost called her my mom. She's like my mom. My wife, one of her pregnant snacks was popcorn, and it was every night for like 9 months. And I am just the smell of it.
If I was not doing keto, I would be all over popcorn because it is fantastic.
Andy, by the way, has lost like 50 lbs. He's down 50 pounds.
Nice.
You want all 50 up.
And I've gained them all. He sent them over to my house. So, Andy, what's your number? Let's finish the first half of the mountain and get going.
It's funny because I picked Butterfinger BBs as my first one. I can't eat that anymore. But if they brought it back, I would break keto for Butterfinger BBs. Let the record show. So my next one, I'm going to go to a specific video game. Now, the tricky thing with video games for me when I was picking these, primarily when I would go to Blockbuster, I was renting video games. I was a younger kid during that Blockbuster time. So I would rent video games, but I had to kind of like rack my brain and figure out like what are the games that we owned and what are the games that we rented consistently, because there was games that I'd go and you'd rent for a few days and then you just like renew the rental again because I just want to keep playing it, and it's like it felt like I owned the game because of how often I had it. But when I think about that, listen, I'm going to give you some shocking news. There is no N64 games on my Rushmore tonight because we owned a ton of N64 games. We were just buying those games. So I wasn't renting those as much. But what I did rent a lot of was PlayStation 2 games, right? Kirk, I know you're a PS2 guy. I will concede that it is very close that PS2 might be the greatest console ever. That's just opinion-wise. But they have some of the greatest games for sure. Although I am a Nintendo guy, I will say that. But I remember on the PS2, and I believe this was my George of PS2 games, or it's certainly on my Rushmore. I'm going with the Warriors on PlayStation 2.
Warriors come out and play.
I loved this game, Rockstar game. It was very kind of GTA feeling type game, but it was set in the Warriors, this really kind of cult classic movie. But I remember renting this and like playing through, and like I have to try to beat this in the few days that I have it, or else I'm going to have to like re-rent. It was just trying to figure all that stuff out. But this was a game that I would continually rent. It was one of those games where I felt like we owned it, but I know I never owned the Warriors. It was just a rental all the time. If you went to my local Blockbuster and you weren't able to get a copy of it, I apologize now because I rented it out multiple times. But yeah, this is the one. I'm going to say it now. This is the one video game that makes my list tonight. But it was a constant rental. So I'm going Warriors on the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
It's a fantastic game. I actually looked at I know you were collecting that stuff, and I looked at last time I was at Peloton. I saw somebody selling it. It was like $80 or $90. I was like, Kirk, I love you, but man, goodness gracious, I don't know if I'm shelling that out right now. I guess it's become a cult classic.
You mentioned Warriors quite a bit, so can you dig it?
Can you dig it? Yeah,
Booker T stole that for a little while, but yeah, you guys like Warriors the game? He mentions it a lot, so I bet you guys like it.
I remember seeing the cover. I could visually picture it.
Yeah.
I've never played the game before.
I would highly recommend if you're able to play that game. It is a super fun. Again, it's a rock game.
It's kind of a la, when it came out, but it was kind of like Grand Theft Auto, engine that kind of used Grand Theft Auto. But it's a really cool game. Man, this is a great list. These are great lists. I love the nostalgia here in everybody's list. And we're making good time, Andy. We're at an hour and 6, and we're at halftime. Halftime. All right, yeah. So halftime.
I was already doing a snack break. I had busted out a little cosmic brownie action here.
Yeah.
Talking about all the snacks. I'm like, I gotta get one.
Talking nostalgia. There you go.
Yeah. Isaac says Kirk loves N64. I don't hate it. And it's a great system. It's just not on my Rushmore systems. It's just not on my Rushmore. I didn't have it. I didn't own it, so I had to play other people's.
Just to show this off real quick, I do have a property of Blockbuster video.
So I was going to show that, and you mentioned PS2. There's no way you were going to mention this one. This is a PS2 game, but look.
Is it an RPG? Because yeah, absolutely.
No, it's not. It is actually Dave Mirra.
Okay, hey, that's a great game.
Gooder.
I had that on computer, believe it or not.
But I only had it just to use as a prop. I wasn't going to mention it today. It's a fun game, but it's not something I was mentioning. So let's do halftime. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. If you're hanging out in the chat, this is a good time to go get your snacks. But hit the like, do all those things. If you're hanging out with us this long, we go live every Thursday night. And so a couple things that we do. Right above my head is our friends at Culture Box, and right below me, right here, is Reboot. I did Reboot this week. Reboot is what we call the unconventional ministry. It's nerd in the word. We teach the Bible through video games, anime, cartoons, whatever. Like a couple weeks ago, we went to a convention and Darth Vader was there. So I talked about a redemption story of Vader, and then a couple weeks later, we did Sonic, and I actually taught a redemption story about Shadow. Then this week we talked about powering up and through Christ. We do these at conventions all over. Here's some of the conventions that we'll be at. Hopefully we'll be at this one right here, Andy, which is the Cajun Con. It's one of the biggest conventions that will come through Louisiana, to be honest. There are so many things and so many people happening over there. Cajun Con. The guy one is the new voice or the voice active of Scooby-Doo. And there are so many guests that's going to be there. It's going to be absolutely humongous. I don't know how he's fitting everybody in there. He has invited us. We have to nail out those details. So hopefully we'll be there. Another one that we're going to be at in January, Andy, here it is. There's a little QR code like the Pokemoners. You want to hit the Pokemon. So if you want to see Pelican, we'll be at that one too. That's a one-day event. And in November, we'll be at St. Tammany Collectors Con. Ming Chen was just announced again. Ming Chen was on our channel last time he was at St. Tammany Collectors Con. Hopefully I'll get him on again. He's a blast. If you know Ming Chen, it's Comic Book Men. He did a little promo for us. You can see that on our main page. But he's a good guy. He actually did top 4 foods he likes in New Orleans because it's in the New Orleans area. With that being said, Andy, why don't we shout out one of our friends from Culture Box? Oh, by the way, let's do Retro Rewind podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a reason why. not do Retro Rewind podcast.
Here we go. Check out Retro Rewind Pod. Every other week, join the Retro Rewind Pod as they travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today. Expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, Paul, and rotating guest hosts who are all out of time.
Yeah, the reason I want you to shout him out tomorrow, Andy, is the last day of his Kickstarter. So if you know Francisco, don't call him Roy. He has made his own board game, and the Kickstarter went live last month. Tomorrow's the last day for the Kickstarter. It is called Junkyard Juggernauts. Go visit it. If you're a board game guy, if you're a role-playing guy, if you're like a Dungeons and Dragons, if you're like a long game campaign type game, this is for you. It is a very cool game. I've played it several times with him on his channel. But Retro Rewind Podcast, they're the leaders basically of Culture Box, kind of got us all together, a bunch of Christian creators to kind of share stuff together. Go visit Junkyard. Andy put it in the chat. And support. You can go there and do as little as just buying some stickers. And he got a whole lot of support like the first week, and then he kind of is shutting down. And so we would love for him to get funded over the next day and a half. That would be great. But Andy, tell everybody our favorite coffee, and then we'll shout out a member and get back into this.
Here we go. Village Coffee. Check it out.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code Rushmore for free shipping.
There we go. We got our
And it's your favorite coffee. You love it.
I love
and
it.
they rebrand it, and you can get cold brew, and you can get pods right to your house. And the guy who does it, Cade, was actually one of our first guests ever, and he did Top 4 Drummers, and he is going to come on again eventually, and we'd love to have him back. So go support the Village Coffee. Last thing that I want to shout out, Andy, can you click the video for me? Every time I go to click it, it takes an hour. But let's share our favorite friend, our favorite Geometry Dash guy today as our member of the day.
Let's check out our good friend, good buddy, and overall just GOAT, Bryce J.W.
Bryce J.W. is a full-time content creator, collector, and streamer, spreading kindness one video at a time. From epic Geometry Dash runs and Nintendo streams to game hunting vlogs and podcasts, Bryce leads the Anime Armada, a welcoming, positive community for gamers and geeks of all kinds. No hate, just heart. Join the crew at youtube.com/@BryceJW.
So the reason Bryce has that video, Andy, is because he is a member. And also, if you become a member, you can get us to go back and revisit a couple of our old ones and do it either with us or have us redo it like you did with the Nintendo 64 when you realized GoldenEye wasn't necessarily your favorite game anymore after you've replayed it. And so, that is that's the end of our halftime show for today. And we appreciate all you guys being a part. If you stay around towards the end, I'll show you kind of what's coming up to finish off this month and what we're going into next month. Next month is sports. So if you love sports, be around, obviously, in September and October. So let's start this thing back over again. Now we're at Link, right? We're at Link, and this is number 2 on your mountain, David. What's your second favorite thing of all time about Blockbuster? Or whatever you got.
So I'm glad that Kirk did not use this because now I can use this. And that is when you go to Blockbuster and they have the used bin and ready for purchasing of previously owned or previously rented, previously viewed, either video games or movies or whatever. And one of the highlights of my entire collection is a Blockbuster rental of a video game, and it even has the price tag on there. And this is TMNT Tournament Fighters. I don't know if any other copies exist, but I thought what's really cool about this thing is they have serial numbers, and so the back has the serial number of the game that matches the serial number of the case, so I know that it wasn't just added into the actual case. And so that would be my number 2, is being able to purchase these previously rented items for your own personal use.
Nice.
And it comes in that nice clamshell, and it's even got that little $7.99 price tag when you
So-
were able to buy Tournament Fighters for $7.99.
That's pretty amazing. You're okay. So I didn't say anything about it because this is my number 1 Benjamin today. So this is off the board for me in the second round because I was pulling this out if it was still available. But that's why I had this sitting here. But I also have the serial number right here, BBV 22009, written on the disc for the Dave Mira. But I don't have a price tag on this one, this particular one. But it does say 2001 on the Blockbuster paper, which is kind of cool. Kind of know back where that's coming from. That's a great pick. I definitely was hoping to hold on to that one for a little bit, but and you're right. It should be up there. Random
this one is-
reviews. Welcome in, man.
This one's dated February 9th, 1995.
Wow.
Sweet.
So pretty cool. And it even comes with the manual as well.
That
So,
is awesome.
This is definitely a holy grail. And the fact that it's a Blockbuster, I think, Keith, I don't know if I can mention this, but I had 2 copies of Tournament Fighters, and I let one go to Keith for his collection, and I made sure I kept the Blockbuster version.
Nice.
Well, Keith already said he wouldn't have known what Blockbuster meant anyway because they didn't have that there.
Not a clue.
He would have thrown all that away. He would have been like, give me a real one.
Stuff. Yeah.
That's
No,
my number 2.
Get
So
lost.
Andy and I actually talk about that. And I think if somebody's trying to sell a collection, like by all means. But my collection is not so much what I'm trying to get for this crazy estate sale when I die. It's like what I love. And so having things like Blockbuster stickers and my name written on it when I was 8, it just means so much more. That just makes it way better for me. And seeing, your handwritten notes in the instruction booklet. That's just way better. So I love this pick. Russ, do you like this pick?
It's a good one for sure. Yeah. I love having those.
I saw you shaking your head. You were kind of
Well,
yeah.
we'll get there.
Oh, there you go. What a pro move.
That sounds like he's been on the show a minute.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. So, Keith, what you got?
All right. My number 2 is going to be the aisles.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Standing at the end of an aisle at a movie store and looking down it, that memory, that feeling, it's something that a lot of us have that a lot of people now going forward won't ever have. We actually, when we were at Siege, we flew into Atlanta, so we had to drive to Siege. And when we came back the next day, we Ubered to a couple video game stores, and there was one store we went to in Atlanta, and they had VHS, they had everything, and it was set up like that classic, store. And as I was walking down that aisle in that store, it was like this rush of nostalgia, this rush of emotion, this rush of past memories of being in an aisle in a video store surrounded by all that different versions of entertainment. So number 2 is going to be the aisles of the store. Aisles. Stand to walk through those.
I love that. Random Rick says, I had a Blockbuster Game Pass thing, but by that time they had like 12 games.
Nice. Yeah.
He said he always liked those buckets. They had a BB Some Act 2 popcorn and a box of candy. Yeah. You remember those like buckets they kind of like put together a bunch of stuff? The aisles.
So one thing
Really
about the aisles that at least I know where you're going with that just that feel of that. But there was nothing more upsetting when you found the game you wanted and then you went to it and there was no copies behind it.
Yeah.
No, why are you showing? Just take it off the shelf completely.
And then they went to the thing where they don't put the game and you like walk behind the counter like, do you have this? And they're like, nope, we're all out of those.
I would go to the cashier and I'd be like, please tell me you just haven't sorted through it yet. Somebody returned it, and you just haven't put
What's in the return? What's in the return? What's in the
Or
return?
how about when you go up to the counter and you ask, "Hey, when is it due back?"
Yeah.
Give me his number. I'll call him for you.
Right.
Yes, that's a good one. Well, what I loved about the aisles, I was thinking about the aisles, and it kind of goes to what Russ was saying about Ninja. How it was like you could go to the horror section and you could go to it was all like rom-coms and comedy and sports and documentaries. And I remember as a kid, there was the kids section and the video game section. Oh, you know what? I was going to mention this to you, David. David, I need to connect you with this guy. This is Sean. Sean is kind of right up your wheelhouse with all the stuff that you were talking about with toys and things of that nature. That is his kind of channel. You need to go visit the Real Life Perspective. He's been on our show quite a few times. So
writing it down right now.
You want to go and check out David's show. David's
Real
channel.
Life Perspective. Got it.
There's 2 of them. Make sure you get the right one. The guy with the 3D glasses. So he's been on the show quite a bit. Anyways.
Perfect.
Did you read Random Rick's?
That's in relation to that.
That's funny. Well, Spencer's took that on, but they don't even put beats. You just go too far back into Spencer's, you're like, where?
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
What happened?
Where was the PG aisle in Spencer's? Where did I pass that?
It was
What
outside
point?
the front door.
It was at the threshold.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so funny.
I remember one time, side note, here's the squirrel, being at the mall and walking in there with my aunt who had never been in a Spencer's. And she was like, what? What are we doing? And I was like, no, come on. The cool T-shirts are in the back. No, we're not going to the back. Come to the graphic tees. The graphic tees
back here. They have all your names.
Yeah. That was a different time. Random Rick, by the way, people that come and visit, Andy, throw that thing out at him. We call them the Summit Squad. Welcome, and I just threw you a Rich. Thanks for being here. Reason we throw out the wrenches, it's easier for you to share your channels. So if you're in the chat, share your channels. Everybody go follow each other, support each other. This community, YouTube is hard. No reason to hoard all the cool people. Go over there and support them too. So that's just how we live life over here on at the Rushmore Show. So yeah, man, the aisles are really, yep, you have the power now, like Nintendo Power or Power Glove or He-Man, whatever. Yeah, that was probably a power. We need one more power for Rushmore. So yeah, aisles. Just the whole feel of the store, right? I mean, just the feel, the walking in.
You even say the carpet.
The carpet. Yep.
Yeah. The smell.
The
right?
color combo. That
Andy,
blue.
one of your favorite smells is Home Depot. I can remember Blockbuster smell, for real. The popcorn mixed with the hint of chemically plastic all over the walls. Like, yeah. It had its own smell for sure. Fun stuff, man. So, Russ, you're up. What's your number 2?
I'm matching with Dave.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Getting the used games. Dave didn't mention, though, I do want to highlight, they kept them in this, at least at my Blockbuster, like a graded bin. Like it was like, I don't know, it was the way they put the games in there. It just wasn't like a box. It was similar to the racks, how you have like the great.
It was like a wire.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this wire box that you would just like sift through looking for the used games, and it would have a mishmash. Maybe you see some Super Nintendo games in there. But I was going to throw some love at, I remember picking up Quest 64 and seeing like, okay, this looks pretty neat. Like it's got a little magician guy on the cover. I'm going to pick this up. It's probably like, a few dollars, and brought it home. And I enjoyed it. There's a lot of hate on it. I haven't gone back to this game, so that might make an interesting live stream to check it out. But
I absolutely
there we go.
I hate this game, but
You hate it.
but I had to get it. But for those that know me, I hate RPGs. But I had
Let
to get
the
it.
record be known. Andy despises RPGs, but he loves Nintendo 64. And he said, well, let me try this one.
Right.
It's one of the most famous 64 ones. And Andy, did you even play it like more than 5 minutes?
I've spent I spent probably 30 minutes on the game, and that's it. That's all I've done.
That was enough. That was enough.
Fair enough.
We actually did RPG, top 4 RPGs of all time, and we did it with Picking Preacher, which is now Keith Courage, for all you that don't know. And we did it with him, and Andy, Pokemon. He was
Animal Crossing. No, I'm just I don't even know.
RIP 30 minutes, Random Rick says.
Yep.
Now, that's a kind of a throwback to the original Rushmore. In the back in the day, we used to do the old candle and the noise. We need to bring that back, Andy.
Every week we talk about that. I think about making it and just putting it in our media, but I just don't get onto it.
Someone say Pokemon. That's what made Dusty's channel go to 10,000, by the way. Pokemon. Start doing Pokemon, guys. That's what he told me.
Been there, done that. Not going back.
Yeah, so awesome pick. This is so fantastic. Obviously, I had it on my list, but yeah, there were some really good pulls in there. And you can get it for cheap, especially if you weren't a collector. But I remember as like a little kid, and maybe you only had $30, right? You went in there and got 6 games for $5 or whatever it was. I remember they had like the $4.99 games or the $5.99 games or whatever it was. You get a couple games as opposed to like going to get one brand new game. Then you can kind of build your collection up. That was really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, my turn is next. You said games. I want to talk games. There's a ton of games I could have picked, but most of my rental time was Nintendo. And there is this one particular game, which actually one of the things I threw out to you guys was box art. And this would probably be on my box art list for sure. But the game is absolutely terrible. It's terrible. I played it not long ago. But this is probably my most rented game. I remember wanting it because of the box art and then always being underwhelmed, but still keep renting it. But I'm going with Kid Nicky, the Radical Ninja from NES. And man, I rented the heck out of this game. You know the game. It's fairly difficult. He's got like swords that look like X's to show movement or whatever, and weird big-headed bosses. And obviously, you were talking ninjas earlier, and I was thinking, I'm almost kind of crushing with you. I'm going to do a ninja later. But yeah, the box art for this is off the chain, right? And then you get it, and then you get it home, and you're like, that looks nothing like this amazing art on the cover. But I rented it so much. It was one of my favorite games back then. So I'm going to go Kid Nicky is going to be my most the memory ingrained about renting video games for me.
I don't have any memory of this game, so
Yeah, I figured you didn't. Actually, I have it right here.
That game is great. I don't know what any of you guys are talking about. That is such a good game. I love that game.
I just don't have memory. Like I never played it, so
I mean,
Oh, it's so
I mean,
good.
it's a good game for me as far as nostalgia, but as far as games go, it's not. There's the cover there.
Kirk, do you have? I just
It
noticed
totally does not match the gameplay for sure.
Right.
a lot
not
of those
like
box arts
realistic.
I
really-
mean, it's fun.
Don't
When I play, it's one of those games. Do I like this because it's nostalgic, or do I like this because it's a good game?
I kind of have the same feeling for
Kind of where it
Karnov.
fits in for me.
Kirk,
Okay.
is that
Big
Micro Machines on the N64 playing behind you?
No, it's RC Pro Am, another one of the games I rented as a kid. But
I rented that one too.
that was a very professional move, getting a second one in real quick. By the way, no, that's RC Pro Am, my other one.
Yeah, that was a Benjamin without being a Benjamin.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, I just don't know this game, so.
Oh, look. Random Rick says, Kid Nicky was my first rental, and wow, the disappointment. Deadly Towers, that was another one kind of on my list, too. Maybe comes up. RC Pro-Am does hold up. It does hold up. I played it today while I was kind of messing with it. So, you like Kid Nicky, Russ? Which is it you that said that?
I do.
Dave,
Oh,
yeah.
David.
I mean, I'm sure Russ likes it too.
I haven't played it in quite some time, so I'll add it to a future stream.
Is it just
I remember it being fun to play. Like you get the little sword that spins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I did.
I enjoy it.
Yep.
It's like
All right. So,
he's
Andy,
mowing the lawn with that sword.
Right,
it's like, it looks weird. It's like an X, and it's like
Yeah.
It's more like nunchucks.
That's what I always thought it was.
More
but
like a
on the
lawnmower blade.
cover- On the
Yeah.
cover, he's holding a sword.
He's
I
just
always
so
thought it was
fast with it.
Yeah.
Fastest kid
Yeah.
alive.
He's like a ninja.
Fastest kid
Ninja.
alive.
But ninjas were cool as a kid, man. Look, you said it, like Surf Ninja and three ninjas and American Ninja and Ninja Gaiden, and ninjas were it, man. And I remember as Halloween one year, I went as a ninja, like, and you see this, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Well, in Mortal Kombat, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero or something.
Yeah, well, that was more like my high school days, but yeah, absolutely.
And there were even some Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, there were.
Ninja Turtles.
about
No,
that?
if we were talking ninja movies, there goes one. Yep.
There was
for
even
sure.
a superhuman samurai cyber squad. Samurai.
Which you mentioned 2-3 weeks ago.
Ninja Pizza
All right,
Cat.
Andy, what's your link?
Yeah, my link, y'all. This I tried to not like pigeon. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said
Pigeoned
that.
his hole.
I pigeoned the hole to pigeonhole myself.
My whole fidge. All right, what-
Let's clip that for sure. I'm going the snack route again, and
Yeah.
and listen, next to Butterfinger BBs, the next thing that I wanted, and it's still available, is Bunch of Crunch.
Okay.
I always went Bunch of Crunch. It was like I was eating popcorn, but it was just Nestle Crunch Bar bites. It was so good. I remember, I think, physically getting sick from how much Bunch of Crunch I ate. It was, that's a good thing because of the memory in there, but I still love this. It was another one of those ones where I had to get this. This was actually going to be my George until I thought of something else. So Bunch of Crunch is up there. It's a fantastic candy, but it's just like Butterfinger. Now, I don't mind a Crunch Bar, but I will tell you this. Something about it being handheld, and it's kind of like those Wiley Wallaby. Maybe it's like a psychological thing. I'm just eating way more of it. It's like, so we've talked about this before, even too, Kirk, like with finger sandwiches. I never sit down and fix myself 2 full sandwiches, but I will eat 8 finger sandwiches easy. Like, I don't know what it is. It's the same.
And I've mentioned this.
Because they're smaller.
There's not many times I don't make 2 sandwiches. I mean, like
Well,
it's a
No, I'm a 1 sandwich and some chips and I'm good, but I will eat 8 finger sandwiches or 10 fingers at a party or something. But it's the same thing. Bunch of Crunch, man. You just, those things are
Zonkers. Do you remember that? Oh, and
Zonk.
Dots, Dave.
I
Dad
hate
Dots is like chewing like old licorice, like old. The end
they're
that
always
cut
with
off.
teeth.
I mean, they were good, but man, it was like, you remember your teeth was like stuck together. You thought you had to go to the dentist and get it
What about
removed.
Milk Duds? Any
Oh,
milk?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
those are one of my favorites.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but I am going Bunch of Crunch, the sweet and the crunchy together. Yeah.
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 Skittles.
All right, we're at the
Oh, I
George.
can't see him.
We're at the George. We're gonna give all the candies away.
There you go.
Well, I guess
Oh,
I
let's
should
talk about
pull out-
Bunch of Crunch. I wasn't a Bunch of Crunch guy. I remember my parents were like Fiddle Faddle and
Delicious.
oh, look at that. My parents were like Fiddle Faddle and what was it, Munch a Crunch or whatever. But I never got into any of that stuff. But
Fiddle Faddle. Remember the quote from Goldberg's? It's all fiddle, no faddle.
it's all
They're like,
fiddle.
oh,
no
yes.
faddle.
Yeah.
You're eating all the fiddle. Yeah, so good.
All right, the George. This is the best thing about Blockbuster. What is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I up? Is it
Yep.
me?
Yep, it's you.
Okay. We got to go back to 1994.
Oh, it's a movie quote. Oh
The
no.
Wayne's World.
It is not Batman Returns. For those of you who don't know, it's an ongoing joke on the Weekly Warpipe podcast. Everything is Batman Returns. So 1994, they held the World Blockbuster Video Game Championship.
Mhm.
You guys remember this?
Well, I was 5, so
And this is
remember
my
it because I
original
looked it
copy,
up
and
there.
shouting it back to Kirk because he mentioned having your name on stuff. This is my original copy with my childhood signature on the top there. And so this is from the game. It's got, what is this? Domino's pizza ads for
Yes.
free pizzas.
That's when Domino's was good.
Domino's.
And
was-
it would tell you like what game you're playing that week. So you'd start with NBA Jam. They'd have a competition for that. And then it would give you some tips and tricks. Tournament Fighters is in there.
There
How
you
about
go.
that? And then
Dude,
on top of
that
that,
is-
when you got, speaking of Butterfingers, you got the big Butterfinger ad on the back.
Nice.
Bro.
And I still have the original pin that you would get when you took part
Oh wow.
in
Dude,
the
that
tournament.
is one of the coolest things for real.
So I do remember it distinctly. I had to go home and rent the game so I could practice it. So then you had a special time slot and day you had to go in. They would record your times or whatever the competition was, and then they would call you if you made it into the next round. So my number one is going to be the World Video Game
You win.
Championship.
So we're going to do a poll on Instagram, and you guys can all go on Instagram and vote. You can vote for yourself. You can vote for others if you think they win. That is a cool item. I think you just stole the audience. If they actually watched and saw, that's a cool thing. Like those are items that even if somebody else had one, it's not as cool as yours, right? That you
Right.
actually did it. You
Right.
went through it. You got you got the T-shirt type thing, right?
Yeah.
Bryce J. Dub, we threw your commercial in just a little while ago. I'm glad you're here. We love you, man. So, all right, man. So what do y'all think about that? Russ Lee typed in, that's a classic item.
Classic relic.
Very cool. Yeah. And a
that's
piece
super
of retro game history for sure.
What was that?
I think I would have that thing
You would-
framed or something.
That's not like a competition you would go enter like in a location. So it was like you had to do games certain weeks or something.
So what they would do is they would have a certain game per week, right? And every Blockbuster would have their own competitors, and then you would basically be the winner or you would place in that location, and then they would then go on to like the next round, and then they would probably intertwine the stores and then lead to, I don't know if it was broken up into divisions or whatever. I mean, I was 14 years old when it happened. So,
you gotta find out who won this thing. That's what I need.
Who
Let's
knows?
trace him down.
David, was it
Let's-
you?
Ask
The
GT
Wizard one. The
ask
Wizard.
GPT. Oh yeah,
Fred Savage one.
no, his brother. His brother.
His little brother won.
Jimmy.
Wasn't it
Little
Randy?
Jimmy.
Savage? Not Randy Savage.
It wasn't Randy Savage. That was my man.
That would have been Randy Poffo. That would have been his name. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know who won. But I do remember having to, like I said, rent the games, and then you would go home, practice it for the week, and then go in on your scheduled
That
time
is a
slot.
cool Like, dude, I love having that. Like,
Here
I
we
got this
go.
the other day. I was digging through my stuff.
I
It's
got
kinda-
the one.
Side note, this has nothing to do with Blockbuster, but I had this little thing I found, which I hadn't seen in
Oh
forever.
yeah, I remember one of those.
A
Yeah.
little Nintendo Power, and you would write like all your passwords in it. Here's a fun thing, Andy. I don't think I showed this on the channel yet, Andy. But in the beginning, you would put your like address and stuff. That's my old address. So y'all can see it. It doesn't matter. That's who I used to be. But look, you put your picture in there. There's my
That's cool.
picture from when I was a kid.
Nice.
It's like
Nice.
glued in there.
Wow.
Like, and you
So-
write like your passwords from all your games are in this. But anyways, that's like one of those things like you have. It's like it's just like, wow, what a blast.
How cool is
Nice.
that? It's the
Maximum
Carnage ad
Wow.
Good
for
job.
the game coming out.
That's a
When you
fantastic.
talk
And
about
I actually
commercials,
I do have another copy of this that's not my original. I did
Oh,
find another copy at
Kevin's
a
been
con.
lurking this whole time. Look at this. Look at this. Kevin is my 8th grade best friend. Look at this. I still have my Star Fox jacket from winning one of the stores on the competition back in the day. Why am I
Okay,
not
there you go.
shocked? Why am I not shocked?
Epic.
Here we go. They had two winners, two divisions. Fred Dowdy won the Genesis tournament.
So Fred did win.
Fred did, and Mark Janine won the Super NES tournament, specifically in NBA Jam by a narrow margin, according
Wow.
to him. So there you go.
Wow.
And Kevin won the Star Fox version
Yeah. At the local level.
at the local store on the Power
Ru-
Glove. Did you not know?
Russ,
It was on the
Russ knows that I am an NBA Jam champion as well, just not for Blockbuster.
At the local level. The local pub.
local level.
Triple A. He's a
At
triple A.
the
He's a
YMCA.
minor leaguer.
Nice. Hey, so all
That's
right,
my number
that
one.
is a great George. That's going to be hard to beat there, Keith. What you got for your George?
Well, mine would be, and again, not Blockbuster, but Video Update, I think it was here, or Video View was the store we had here. My mom worked at one of those stores, and she would bring home movies or like the screeners for movies, stuff like that. So I have memories of mom coming home from working her whatever shift at the video game or the movie store, and she would have a stack of screener movies that we would get to watch, and they had like the lines in them or whatever, and they weren't like the official one, but we could watch them early because she worked at the store. And I know Blockbusters had stuff like that where the employees could take the movies home, get these screeners, these early releases. So I remember sitting and watching those. I mentioned Congo in my joke earlier about Zach's favorite picks. That was one that I distinctly remember mom bringing home, and it was a screener copy. We had friends over, and we all watched the movie Congo for the very first time when it was coming out, and it was just brand new to the store. So
That
that they actually had those screener copies that those employees could watch, right? I think that was super cool.
That is really cool. That is really cool.
Original OG bootleg copies. I love
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
These are going to be hard to beat, Andy. These are going to be hard to beat. These are
I got
hard
to
to
be
beat.
excited for the one that I have, but yes,
Russ,
these- I
you
like how
have
we're
something
going
really cool to share about your George? Your
Oh,
number
yeah,
one?
yeah. I figured I'd touch on a core memory, and I mentioned this a bunch of times throughout some of my channels. It's definitely fun to bring up. But every time I think of Blockbuster, it always brings me back to Christmas time, because every Christmas I would get up and open gifts under the tree with my mom, and she would always get me a Blockbuster Video gift card. And so I would have that gift card, and we would go to my aunt's house, and we'd have dinner there and open some presents. And then I knew on the way home, we were able to swing by Blockbuster because they were open on Christmas. And I was able to use that gift card right away. And of course, most of the time I did go to that used video game bin looking for something new to play. Or maybe I did grab a movie that I rented in the past and wanted to pick up the copy so I could see it a bunch. But every year for quite some time, Mom always got me a Blockbuster gift card for Christmas.
When asking the old AI today about what it thought some of the best things were, this was on its Rushmore, was the old Blockbuster gift cards.
Nice.
And I was like, man, I don't remember having many of those, if any. That's a cool little thing that, you got one of those all the time and kind of got to use it. That's awesome. Did you guys get gift cards?
No.
I don't remember getting any. I remember getting like
remember.
certificates, like actual paper. I'm that old, I guess. I don't know.
There was a mom and pop shop around us. Russ would know this, called Tommy K's Video.
Uh-huh.
And I remember distinctly, and I think I still have one that I have not used yet. I think it's, and gift cards don't expire, right? So these are the store might have, but not the gift card. But it was like this little cardboard thing that they would hand write like the value of it and then sign it, put in an envelope. And so I think back then we didn't have the actual swipe cards.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like the old school gift certificates.
Right,
Certificates, yes.
Yeah,
And then
instead of
you would
card.
spend some money, and then they would write whatever the remaining balance was, and then do
Right.
their little initial on it.
Well, man, these are all cool. I've got a cool one too. I've got a real cool one. So when I worked at Blockbuster, there were a lot of perks, many that have been mentioned today by just kind of chatting around. And I'll probably use a few of those potentially, if not said later or throughout the Benjamins. I've got a few more perks and things that were really fun. But by far, my most favorite thing about Blockbuster was that 2.5-year time frame that I worked there, that there was a connection. The guys that worked there were friends with the guys at the movie theater. And there was this like club of people, right, that they watch movies in the theater and they watch movies and it was just whatever. And I had like the inside track for the two most important places to get movie posters. And I had some of the most cool movie posters coming out of that crew of friends, whether it was from Blockbuster or the theater or whatever. And because they would throw all that stuff away. Like they're like, I mentioned it earlier with Keith, that like if he left, if you're going to put a cloud cardboard cutout, but there were like cardboard cutouts of like King Kong and all these things. And I had a lot of that stuff back in the day. And there was just a time where I was like, I don't think I need any of this. And I'm like sold it or put it on eBay or whatever. But I maybe have probably a handful, maybe 5 posters. I think I probably have the Crow still, because that was one of my favorite in the Matrix probably. But just getting those cool movie posters that and other like memorabilia that they were hanging in the windows, putting in the marquees, and all the things around. And we always got first dibs. So that was really cool. Just kind of insider trading, if you will.
There you go. Martha Stewart got in trouble for insider trading, didn't she?
She was also baking and baking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I still, yeah. That was the one I already read. Trying to get screener and posters working at the video store was a dogfight. Yeah, absolutely. But if you were inside there, you kind of were like, no, I got it, man. I'm gonna keep it. It's okay. Yeah. All right, Andy. What's the final one? The final countdown, baby.
Yeah, so this one may make me tear up. I don't know, probably not. But being dramatic there, I've mentioned before recently. I think during this series, because we're in nostalgia, that my daughter has been on this kick of watching these videos with me, these shorts about like things that 90s and 2000s kids will only understand, right? Or like things that whatever. And one of the ones that came up hit me right in the feels, and it's pertaining to Blockbuster, actually. Now I'm going to talk about it specifically here. It's the feeling of Friday night Blockbuster trip. You know what I mean? Like you've been in school all week. I've been in school. Again, I was younger, right? And then we get to go to Blockbuster as a family. You get to pick a game. You get to pick a game. But more specifically, what my pick is the Blockbuster that we had locally in Covington was a split store where it shared a building, and it had a door in between the two of them. It was Blockbuster on one half and McDonald's on the other half.
Yeah.
And
I know that place.
That combination of Blockbuster McDonald's, because we would get a video game or a movie or something that we were going to watch together as a family. You know, we would have family movie night, but then we would go get like a Happy Meal, and the going home and eating chicken nuggets and having the movie or the video game or whatever it is that we did and some Butterfinger BBs, right? But having those things and having that family night is one of those things that, like, you don't capture that feeling now other than talking about it, right? Like in the nostalgia and all that stuff that we bring up. So I distinctly remember family Friday nights at the McDonald's / Blockbuster. And it's depressing because I just drove by that same building like recently, within the last week or so. And it's like a pet store now. And I'm like, this is just, you know, you see those ancient ruins that have been taken over by, most of the time, Spirit Halloween, but a lot of times it's something else. And you're like, that was Blockbuster, man. So yeah, those Friday nights, that is my George. It's what Nostalgia Month is all about. It's that.
Hey, Summon Squad, he said Koi Fish is in the house. Koi Fish is going to be on the channel come January and February. Fat Boy Raid is in the house. 20 Hype Like, yep. Fat Boy, just both great video game channels. Go follow both of those guys. This is another Benjamin. I had the whole thing, you know. There was Tuesdays where you went to the music store.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
got the new CD. And there was Fridays you went to the video store to see the new movies.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned it. What are you doing Friday night? It's kind of, this was the Netflix and chill, right? Blockbuster and chill when we were kids, man. It was like it was a thing. Hey, meet me at Blockbuster. We'll get a movie tonight. You get the popcorn. Let's all do it. And you'll get a game. We get a game. And it was a part of just everything. Hey, let's stop by and get a movie on the way home, you know, while you're going to, you know, sleep over at your bud's house. Whatever it is, this is cool. Cool pick. And it fits perfect right here in the George. You guys, how's that hitting the feels?
That's classic for
memories.
sure. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like I said, me going on Christmas, but definitely Friday nights. You're like, all right, what are we getting? Is a movie, new movies out? Do they have family values?
Talking about their loved ones, and this is what happens sometimes when we talk about nostalgia. Lost mom last year, but the memory's still there. Internet killed the video store. Barry is in the house. And then somebody else up here, yeah, my late father and I did that every Friday. Without him, I wouldn't be so into movies, among other things, movie and pizza. My dad was quite older than me, and we didn't have a lot of things in common when it came to pop culture, for sure. We only kind of connected on sports, but I have a lot of those things with more so my sisters than my dad. But yeah, really cool pick, man. That's some cool mountains. And we're gonna jump into the next half of the show, and this goes quicker, guys, much quicker than normal. We don't have to talk about it a whole lot. It's kind of just throwing some more things that missed the mountain. And so, Andy, could you get the video queued up? So the whole idea is, when we first started, it was just Andy and I. And there were times where we picked 3 out of 4 the exact same, and we crushed. And so we had like 5 things we talked about. We're like, well, that was kind of boring. We matched everything. So let's do some extras. And so we started adding honorable mentions, and we made different games. And we thought what would be really cool, we saw a thing where Benjamin Franklin was potentially the 5th guy on the mountain. But he didn't hit it. He didn't get on the mountain. So we're going to talk about what missed our mountains today. We call them All About the Benjamins. So the first round is the same exact order. So it's Dave, Keith, Russ, me, Andy. We're in the right order. So it's going to be like that. But then second round, it comes back the other way. It's Andy, Kirk, Russ, Keith, Dave. Dave, you're going to get back-to-back picks in the middle. Andy's going to get back-to-back picks on both drafts. Dave, you get the first pick, and you get Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, of Blockbuster Items today. So we can't match on anything, and these all have to be completely unique. So, Dave, you get the first pick. What missed your mountain?
All right.
Or
So
our mountains?
should I give my number one?
No, you just.
how-
So here's the
Or
catch.
just in general? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
will say this. This one's a little different because you're trying to say your best 4 you've got left without other people stealing it. So if you know one that Russ might say or that Keith
Okay.
or I might say, you're going to want to take that one first.
Okay. Because I know nobody's gonna take my number one. There's
Yeah,
no
you can
doubt
kind of
in
see
my
that
mind.
at the end
Yeah.
because it might be a little bit more personal. But if there's something that you want to get out there that you know
Sure,
we might
sure.
take, throw that one.
Sure. So, okay. I don't know how we haven't mentioned this. Late fees.
Late fees.
Okay.
Good one.
We haven't
Okay.
talked about late fees yet. Be Kind Rewind. You used to get charged for not
I have
rewinding your
purchased
tapes.
a few movies in my time that I didn't want.
So you'd have the late
Sometimes
fees
the
on
late
top of
fees,
that.
it was better just to pay for the movie. It's like-
Here's the thing. I don't know what it was like where you guys are, but it was $4 to rent a video game. That's how much it was. And you would get the day that you had it, the day that you rented it was your first day. Then you had a full second day, and then you had to bring it back before like noon or something on that third day. So like $4 was a lot because I think the movies might have been like $2 change or up to close to $3. So $4 back then was a lot to rent it for like a 2 days technically. So the late fees would destroy it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about late fees like like a library. We're
and
talking
they were
about
they were like another $2 a day. Like you got
exactly.
so you had it
So
for 6 more days, $15.
So although it's not like a good memory, but it
Yeah.
is like a classic thing that we got to mention when it comes to.
And sometimes we have what's called
Rentals.
more, which are the bad things. It's like the bottom shelf Rushmore things. And that's a great pick. Keith.
Yeah.
What missed your our mountains?
The return box.
Yeah.
Like outside on the wall
Let's
outside
go.
where
I was gonna
the
take
store was
that.
closed. Drop it in the return box and off you go. The return box.
And
don't have
and
that
I was
anymore.
going to
It's
say
gone.
it for the other side of the return box, when like Andy had mentioned earlier, going up to the counter, being like, "Can you sift through that and see if Ninja Turtle 3 just came in?" I'm pretty sure I saw it in that chick's hand when she was walking up. Did she just put that in there? Yeah.
I don't think
Good.
anyone was looking to rent Turtles 3. If I'm being honest.
Right, yeah.
Maybe
That was
number
ours.
2.
And
Now, but Cool as Ice, they were looking to rent.
Cool as ice,
Right.
though. Cool as
Got to
ice.
get the Cool as Ice. They only had one copy, guys.
That's it.
Yeah. Russ, what just missed the mountain?
I would say, like, since I live close to the Blockbuster, traveling there on my bicycle, like just getting on the bike and going there and making a little adventure. We would stop by Sears and Service Merchandise as well and play their kiosk with video games. So it was like a little.
When I
adventure
tell
to
my
Blockbuster.
kids how far we rode our bikes as kids, just the whole Goonies, Stranger Things, when they watch those things, are like, "You guys did that?" Like, we don't even go to the end of the road very often. And it's like without adults, or where are you going? It's like, man, we rode all around town. We own that place, man.
Be home when the lights come on.
Yep. It was $10 for me to rent Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, and 2 controllers. Yeah. So you just you just brought up mine, Koi Fish. Renting whole video game systems is going to be my next pick. This is one of the times that I didn't have a Genesis, but I would rent a Genesis sometimes and play some of the games. Kevin, my guy that was just in here earlier, he had more video games than anybody I could imagine as a kid, and he still has 90% of them. I would go to his house and play like a cool Genesis game, and then I would come home and be like, I want to get a Genesis, and my parents are like, you can rent it for like $10. We're not going to buy one. And so you get it for like 3 days, plug it in, and play Genesis all weekend. That's going to be my first on the Benjamins. Andy, you're up.
All right, back-to-back picks here. Kirk, you like this one? Uphill both ways in the snow.
The good old days.
I remember playing this game, and it's such a weird memory. I played it, and this was like one of the N64 games my dad would play with me, and it was mainly because of how one of the athletes in the game, his name was called when you would play as this guy up to bat, and it became a thing that we would just say this all the time. It's so niche and weird, but there's a core memory. It was All-Star Baseball 2001 for the N64, and it was because Jorge Posada. The way that they said his name, I don't like. It's such a weird, dumb memory, but it's like we'd go around the house like, up next to bat, Jorge Posada. Like, I don't know.
Isaac, we love you. We love you, a part of the community. Thanks for being here. Hopefully we can reconvene and get you on the show again. We'll see you soon, man. See you next week.
And the other game that I'm going to throw out there is one that I have now. I never owned this as a kid, and what's cool is that I found out that it's like super high price now to get this game, and I'm like, man, I rented this game a bunch, and it's a super fun game. Probably one of the more underrated games.
You're about to take mine. Talk about this.
I don't think so. I'm going Snowboard Kids. Snowboard Kids, fun.
I'm going to hold on
game. This is Snowboard Kids 2, but I mean, either one to me, fantastic game. So Snowboard Kids.
Yeah, because you mentioned 64. I should have known that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm going to go with my next snack. I love these as a kid. I still love them today. But I feel like there was only two places I bought these, and they both have to do with movies. I have the movie theater and Blockbuster. I'm going to go with Runts, and especially those banana, just break your teeth.
It doesn't taste like a banana at all, but I don't care.
Yeah. I'm going with Runts.
It tastes like yellow. It tastes like the color yellow. We know what that means.
See that meme where it's like, I don't know what grape juice tastes like, but I do know it probably tastes like purple.
Yeah.
That's what purple tastes like. All right. Now we're going back the other direction. Russ, you're up.
Okay, I got.
You can steal one from them if you know.
I don't think I know. This was a memory. You used to be able to. It's almost similar to what Dave was saying with late fees, but not when you had to return the game. And Mom was like, "We got to take the game." I was at a friend's house and we were playing Mega Man 8 on the PlayStation, and she took the disc out to bring it back, and we were still able to play Mega Man 8 until it would have to load a new screen. And we're like, oh, just like kind of leave it in this area. We can still kind of like have some fun with it.
Hey, so just a fun thing. My other snack was Gobstoppers, koi fish. It was between the two. They go hand in hand. And Dusty doesn't like the banana ones. Yeah.
And it's okay to be wrong.
It's okay. Keith, who likes black licorice? What do you got?
I'm going to go with, let's see here. What did I have? I have renting a stack of movies, walking out of the store with an armload. They had like I don't know about Blockbuster, but I know the video stores that I had here, they had like the rent 5 for $5 or whatever deals where you'd go and you'd pick 5 movies or whatever, and you get them for a deal, or rent 10 for 10. And you'd roll out with like, oh, I got like 3 nights worth of movies here because I'm going to be up all night long with a stack of movies.
You know what? You just mentioned like a core memory of mine. I remember like when you walked out, you know your weekend's full. Right. Look, I've got this on all weekend. We got, what game am I going to be playing while this movie's playing in the background type thing? Oh, yeah, we're busy all weekend. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And I actually rented movies and never watched them all before.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
You get like 10 for $10 or something crazy at one point. I was like, this is awesome.
You got to put it on every VCR in my house. Just let them all play. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe get
you get back-to-back picks.
Oh, so it's me. It's on me. Okay, so the first one that I'm gonna pick, I don't know if we really mentioned this or not, but it is, the disappointment of not seeing that clamshell behind the actual box.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
well,
mentioned
it
it,
was
not-
mentioned, but not as a pick.
Okay, so that's going to be my next honorable mention. It's
That
just
is
going
a
to the
big
store,
deal.
seeing a wall of Titanic, and not one of them is in stock.
Titanic on VHS.
The 3 disc or the 3 VHS box set.
Yeah.
97 hours.
So
Titanic
not
footage.
seeing, me going to the store and not seeing that Cool as Ice clamshell behind Cool as Ice,
Yeah.
or any
I mean,
video game that you when
You
it
only
went to
had a
rent.
1 of 1 chance. Titanic, you had a 1 of 1,000 chance.
Right, so that's
Like,
even
Cool
bigger
as Ice
disappointment there.
Isn't behind there. I'm going home. I'm turning the shower on so no one can hear me crying.
What?
I do
Like,
do distinctly,
like Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
What was more disappointing to me was when I would look for Titanic, but it was actually Cool as Ice behind it.
Someone's
Ooh.
hiding it.
there you go. So when you find a movie back there and then somebody replaced it with a different movie.
Yeah, that is, in all jokes aside. Yeah.
Well,
that would
Yeah. But I do
Yeah.
vaguely remember a bit of disappointment when I wanted to rent Castlevania and it was not in stock.
Mm.
So that is a core memory unlocked.
So you get another one.
Yeah. So my next pick is a game that I rented with, we would go and we would pick out games, me, my brother, and my sister. And you would never know, like, there's some games where you just don't know how long they go, right? So
Yeah.
I have a distinct memory of us renting Rampage on the NES. And me and my brother, and I believe my sister as well, we would spend all day knocking those buildings down. And we didn't want to shut it off. We're like, we're getting so far in this game. So I remember us leaving the NES on that night, shutting the TV off, and then coming back the next day. We never finished the game. That game just goes on and on and on and on.
So I talk about this all at nauseum. Is the word we like to use. I talk about this a lot. Super Mario, the first one. When you were a little kid, it was, and it's still a hard game when I go back and play it. Harder than I want it to be, at least. But when I was a kid, it was so hard. And I remember, like, the very first time I got to World 8, I left it on all night long, woke up in the morning, getting ready for school. I'll just play a little bit, just a minute. I'll leave it, pause it, turn the TV off, come back after school, still trying to beat it because it didn't have a battery and you didn't want to, like, get out of it. Yeah, I talk about that a lot. That's an awesome memory. That is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, what's you got 2 more picks. You got this one and one more. What you
Feature wall. When you, like, back where we're talking, Dave's talking, that new release feature wall at the back of the store. Like, everything, all the other aisles were the movies that had come off the feature wall already.
This is a good pick. I had this on a short list of things that I might draw next. Good pick.
Like
the
David
feature
said,
wall, like the new
10
releases.
copies of Titanic, or 15 copies of Fast and the Furious, the first one, right? And you're like, oh, let's rent this one. And you walked around with your friends, like we were talking on Friday night, and picked those movies you wanted to watch off that new release feature wall.
Yes. All right, Russ.
Mine's related to Blockbuster, but it's a not too long ago memory. I had traveled out to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo a few years ago.
Got to visit.
And if you guys don't know, the last Blockbuster is in Bend, Oregon. They came out and set up, I have a little picture here, me cosplayed up, but they set up a Blockbuster in the convention center where you can browse the racks, and there's a big sign. I'm cosplaying as NES Jason. But they had standees, candy, and everything. So you got the experience inside the convention center. It was really cool.
is really cool.
I also think NES Jason is might be the coolest part of that picture, though.
Well,
Thank you.
He's got the shoes and all, dude. He
No,
talks about
that
it.
was really good. That was really
Sure.
good.
So, Russ, I love that pick. I always kind of throw some like Easter eggs in the Instagram, and that was
Yeah.
the location of our Instagram post that I did was Bend,
Oh, nice.
Oregon. Yeah. So fun pick. I'm going to throw this one out. This one is probably a little selfish. Unless you worked there, you didn't have this. I talked about the posters earlier, but not only did you get to watch the movies, Keith, like you said, your mom, kind of ahead of time sometimes, but you also got to buy them at not even the cheaper price because they're selling them, but at a discounted price ahead of them making the rack for everybody else. It's kind of like one of those things when you see all these people complain when the resellers go in the convention and the VIP time and buy all the place up. Yeah, that's what happened to all the Blockbuster guys. We'd go in and we're buying all this. If reselling would have been so big back then, I would have bought that store each and every Friday. Like, just here, give it all to me and I'll go sell it. But yeah, kind of being inside, and man, I built my my DVD and my movie and video game collection of quite a bit back then with those. Kind of just being inside. All right, Andy, you back to back?
Yeah, back-to-back picks here. I'm just going to go 2 more video games because I didn't just to be a little more specific here. This one is one that I never owned, but and here's the thing. I would rent these types of video games a ton. So there was a bunch of them. This is just probably my favorite nostalgia-wise. Is it the best game? No, for sure not in this genre of games. But it holds a special place in my heart. I'm going WCW NWO Revenge on the 64. Look at that. Look at that Hogan right
Any
there.
wrestling game.
Yeah, I mean, we rented a bunch of the wrestling games. This was just one that I remember, and it was one that whenever I got the 64, I knew I had to purchase that. And then my last pick to go along with the theme of my George of a family night that we would have together, the video game that would bring everyone together. My mom would do it. Maybe the first time we rented this game, she did it, and she never did it again. My dad would try. He was horrible, but it brought the family together, and I'm going with Mario Party. Mario Party is that game that would just – it was the great equalizer in the sense of, like, it didn't matter how old you – like, I'm going to play Mario. Like, these are little mini games, and like, we're going to have fun with this. So I'm going to end it off with Mario Party.
So I mentioned my Nintendo kind of core memory when it comes to renting games. I'm going to mention my Super Nintendo one now. I actually had this game because of Kevin. We had Kevin had this like where you had like a whole drive that you would put on top of a Super Nintendo, and then you would go rent games, right? We would go rent games. We'd put them in the block, and we would put like a floppy disk in there and record the game and return it. And so we had discs after discs after discs. The multi-game hunter, I knew he was going to put it in there. MGH. And one of my favorite games that I rented forever and ever and ever and ever. And then when I got that, I stopped renting it, but I went to go rent other games, was Zombies Ate My Neighbors. And
Good one.
I loved when I got this game as one of my little MGH games. Multi-game hunter, guys. If you haven't seen that, that's a really cool thing. I actually bought that from Kevin as a kid with stolen money. That's a whole nother story, but yes. It was awesome. So Zombie Ate My Neighbors is going to be my 3x5 floppy copier. Yep, about $350. Yep, that's what it was. The MGH, Multi-Game Hunter. All right, that's the end of my list. Now, moving right back along, it's going to be Russ, Keith, and Dave. You're finishing off, and our show is over.
There we go. I was going to showcase something, but Kirk stole the pick from me.
Wow.
And I was like, I pulled it out. So I have a backup one, but I can showcase it after if you want.
Was it Zombie Ate My Neighbors or was it the Multi-Game Hunter?
No, before that. Yeah. about whatever. We'll
Whatever.
get to it. I was gonna say getting a game and having the manual in it, and then having like tips or codes in that manual.
Nice.
Oh.
And maybe using that to help you along. Maybe you didn't have a Nintendo Power subscription or whatever, and you're like, hey, or I guess you can also play someone else's saved game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like somebody else's file.
Right.
But
You get
would
the
you?
Zelda
Were
game
you? Were
and
you?
Russ's game there at Gannon. Oh, look, it's already here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
So-
Nice pick. All right. Keith, your last pick. What you got?
I feel like, again, I didn't have a Blockbuster, but I feel like we need to mention it. But the Blockbuster exclusive games.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good
I
call.
figured
Yeah.
right?
You'll say this today.
Because like there was a handful of them, right? Like what was it? Beast
Scopus,
Wars or something like that. Like there was a handful that
Play
were
Fighter. And then you had,
Play Fighter Blockbuster exclusives.
and you had what was it the
Turok Rage Wars.
Donkey Kong exclusive 64 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Final Fight
Fight Guy, a Blockbuster one too. Yeah. So
Wasn't that,
Hagani was rumored to be, but wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
Well, like Mort was going after the whole thing, and he needed the instruction manual because it was a Blockbuster exclusive. So they were when we were at Blockbuster, you used to put those things in and throw the manuals away. So that's why the manuals and boxes are so hard to find. So
Yeah, there you go.
That was one. Stunt Racer. Oh, Stunt Racer. That was
Stunt Racer, Clay Fighter 33 1/3 director's cut.
I will say this. I'm out of picks now, but the Razor Scooter video game, I didn't realize that was a Blockbuster exclusive. I played the mess out of that game. I'm just looking through a list right now to see these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones was one. Wow. Man, there's a
All
lot
right.
of
So Keith has gone. So Dave, finish off the show.
All right, so mine is definitely a core memory.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys ever had this, but did you guys ever have like celebrities come and visit the Blockbuster stores? You did.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
one of my core memories is me and my brother getting dropped off at Blockbuster Video so we could meet Jim the Anvil Neidhart
I was
while he was
come.
while he was a tag team champion, and he had the belt on the table, and my brother kind of nudges me. He's 3 years older. He nudges me. He's like, "There it is, Dave." And Jim just looks up and he's just kind of, "How's it going, guys?"
That's
Core memory unlocked. And we got him to, he signed a picture for us. And so there's my number one honorable mention.
That's
I
so
was-
cool.
Anvil
I always
Neidhart
remember, like,
at
I think
Blockbuster Video.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there. I remember like wrestlers just coming through town. I have Mick Foley's autograph from when he did that, and he stopped at our Sam's. Like for whatever reason, he sold his book, but wrestlers at Blockbuster was a big deal. And like,
I was going through videos of like old Blockbuster videos, and apparently Dave Matthews played a concert in like 1994.
in a Blockbuster.
How 90s is that?
Was he
In the
doing-
music aisle.
Yes.
It's just like him and his guitar, like, like it just a.
Blockbuster Unplugged.
I love it, man. I love it.
All
It's
right,
just a
guys.
fun-
Well, that is our show. It was real fun, kind of going down the old memory lane on Blockbuster and video stores. We really appreciate you guys coming on. Russ, I got to finally meet you at Siege. Great getting a chance to chat with you. Keith, obviously, third time. You're always invited, all three of you. And Dave, it's been a pleasure to have you guys on. Before you guys head out, we still have a few more people and some new people in the chat. Just say what you got coming up and kind of where to send them in your socials and whatever, so that they know how to find you. If you have access to type it in, you can type it in the comments if you'd like to. We'll start backwards this time. David, you went last time, so you can go first. So tell everybody kind of what you got coming up, maybe on the channel, why they should go watch, and invite some friends over.
Well, when I'm not on the weekly Warp Pipe podcast, which you can subscribe to us, and we do the weekly podcast there at the weekly Warp Pipe on YouTube. I do have a channel. It's about 4 months old now. Do a lot of toy hunting, and I'm finishing up the Chicago Toy Show trip this Sunday, and then I got more on the way. And we're going to be doing, Russ and I will be at Retro World Expo. I think that's just what? That's not very far away. I think it's September. Is it September? Russ, help me out. You let me know.
Yeah, it is September.
Like September.
I don't know the date though.
So we'll be at Retro World Expo. So yeah, just creating some content. I got my YouTube link right there if you guys want to check it out. Reach out too. If you guys are toy collectors, I want to hear all about it. I want to hear what you guys like to collect. I have a community page on there that I try to post daily on, and trying to do new videos once a week, although it may turn into two a week because I got a lot of back footage I gotta get out there. So youtube.com/@David Apuzzo, and the channel name is Dave It's Me.
Nice.
Love that. We're big toy fan. We did a top 4 toy episode way early when. The last episode this month is with the same guy that was on that show. It's called The New 80s Revolution, and he's also going to have his friend Colin from Canada. That's another guy on the Canada Rushmore. He'll be on in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they're going to do TV Retro Dads. But his big collection is wrestling toys, like the old LJNs and stuff. Yeah. But he's got his whole basement decked out like an 80s living room. It's
nice.
Crazy cool. And he changes it all the time. But like he had like the old couch with the old lampshade and the old whatever, and you'd sit on his couch while he talks about it. But he's going to be on in 2 weeks, so check him out as well. The New 80s Revolution and Colin from Canada. They both love all that stuff. Keith, tell everybody what you got coming up on Retrocart Collector.
Retrocart Collector on YouTube, Retrocart Collector on Instagram. New video every Sunday. Got a few from Siege coming up. David hooked me up with a bunch of games. I got some heavy games from him, and I got a big heavy when I came back. And got some stuff from SoCal Gaming Expo still, and just the typical videos that come out from me. So that's about it. That's where you find me.
I'm enjoying this this kind of a latest series that you're doing of it's kind of like a countdown of NES. What is it, like underrated games or something?
Essentials,
Essentials, yeah. I've been enjoying watching that little. There's been about 3 or 4 that I've seen, I guess, maybe 3.
Fun.
Yeah, I like them. Good stuff. And Russ, aside from 24 hours hanging out on YouTube, what can they come over and watch over at Russ Lee and Russ Lyman and Snacky Snack Time and Weekly Warp Pipe and whatever else you got going on?
Yeah. I like a bunch
Well,
of
he's
channels.
also got the new one, Butterfinger BBs.
Oh, yeah.
Butterfinger BBs.
Well, that's going to be
Roughly,
launched collabing.
We got videos every week on all the channels for the most part. I did 3 videos today, but I'm live streaming every Wednesday, 8 to 10 retro games on Russ Lee, plus 2 to 3 other videos with that. I'm actually going to be live streaming this Saturday. My buddy Aldo's coming over. We're going to play some Streets of Rage 2, so that should be a good time. Again, I'll be at Retro World Expo with David. We're going to have a panel and a table there. So if you're local to Connecticut, you can come out to that show. Bunch of stuff going on. Did want to showcase this real quick. It's a cool piece of my collection. I have a Virtual Boy rental case from Blockbuster Video that in case you didn't have a Virtual Boy and you want to take that home for the weekend, it's in there.
Wow. So renting the
So I could rent
system
that for $10, right?
renting the
$10.
system you didn't have. That's the one. That's awesome. $10. Now it's
That's it.
much more than $10, ladies and gentlemen. Well, guys, that's our show. Real quick, let me just drop this in the chat and kind of tell you guys what's coming up next. We will have next week. I just mentioned 2 weeks from now what we have. But
Next
we
week
have.
is Todd.
What's that, Andy?
Is next week Todd does all the things?
I think it is Todd does all the things, as well as Lance Duet and Ferd Bird the Nerd is the other guy who's going to be on. Usually when we have 3 people on, it's a little bit longer of a show, kind of like this. But most of the time we have 1 or 2. But here's the show. Here's what we got coming up. Oh, I know the other one. I was trying to think of the third one. So this is what we got coming up next week. Ferd Bird the Nerd, Lance Duet, and Todd Jackson. Todd does all things. We're going to do our dream collectible grails. David, you might like that one. If you had endless piles of money, right? What are the 4 things that you would want in your collection from a kid? So not necessarily the number 1 thing, right? What was the things that you wish as a kid you had, but you never could get? That's going to be basically next week's show. The next week, we're having 2 really amazing Star Wars guys on. General Kenobi's Bunker. This will be his 2nd time on. And Dad Vader, which is his co-host at the General's Bunker, his podcast. We're going to do the top 4 Sith of all time. Last time he was on, we did the Jedi, if you're interested in that. And then I already mentioned Jason Nupp and Colin from Canada, Retro TV Dads to finish out nostalgia. We have all the sports booked. We don't have all of the video, all the things locked in, and I would buy a Butterfinger BB factory. Yes. With that being said, we love you guys. Thank you for being here. We would love to have you all 3 on again, separately and together on different topics. We do all kinds of things. PNX, glad you're still hanging out, and everybody else lurking, all the other friends that followed us along this journey. A couple things that you can do. Number 1, after we get off this, go put a comment in the video. What is your least favorite thing about renting video games? And
Late fees.
What?
Late fees. He already mentioned it. He put it on his list.
What is your least favorite thing? Go put it in the chat once we hit go. Tomorrow or sometime this weekend, there'll be a poll up as well. And go and vote. Don't just hit the heart. There's a little vote section. Vote which one wins. And we'll see you guys next time.
Is Kevin still in the chat?
Go follow all these people in the chat. Andy, it's time to tell everybody good night.
I just want to say this. If Kevin is still in the chat.
Where's Kevin? Kevin, you here?
I'm going to pick up a CRT TV from him hopefully tomorrow.
Oh yeah, he got you a heavy dog too, didn't he?
It's like a 200-pound TV. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Nice.
It's like an 18.
Need some guns?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Your sleeves off.
And guys, if we see you at the conventions, be sure to come and say hello, and we'd love to see you guys out there as well. But anyway, tell everybody good night.
Well, hey, look, let's say good night. It's been a pleasure, guys. But as always, this is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4.
And nothing
more.
I'm a veteran.
Nailed it.
The outro video is not set. Hold
It's
on.
not set.
Boom, man.
Oh, it's because I did.